Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Notte Eterna. The moon is high, it's smiling down on all of us, and we are returned for some more adventure in the eternal night. I'm Kevin, I'm your host and your dungeon master this evening. If you are just tuning in for the first time, welcome. Look around, get your bearings about yourself. And if you're coming back tonight, hey, welcome back. We're glad you're taking the journey with us here. Notte Eterna, if you are new or not, is a 5th edition campaign setting that is for 5th edition campaign setting. I just said that. Sorry. It's a long day. It is a 5th edition campaign setting, a grimdark setting that is put out by Ali Rebelli Publishing, which is from Italy, and we are debuting it here in the States. And with these fine folks that you see around me, we're going to tell a collaborative tale tonight that's going to be determined by their awesome role playing, some weird crazy voices I'm going to do, and also some dice rolling that we'll do from time to time. Before we get into that properly, I would like you all to know that if you want to find out more about Notte Eterna, you could do that in the link tree that is right above Annika's head, or down below in the about section of the Twitch page here. You can find the direct links in there. You can get the quick start guide and find out more information, and get your own copy before it comes out here in just a couple months. But yes, we are continuing. This is part 3 of a 4-part little mini-series, a little arc, as it were. So we're excited to get back into it. I want to introduce you all to the awesome, cool folks that are here tonight. If you've been watching, then you know that they are amazing. So you're ready to see what else they do tonight. So let's start. On my side here, we're going to start with Annika. Hello, Annika. How are you doing tonight? Welcome back to... Say hi. Tell everybody who you're playing tonight and what's up.
Yeah, hello. So excited to be here, and my name is Annika. This evening I will be playing the wonderful Elora, who is a Willoy Kurash knight with a little bit of exploring monkhood in there, and she is excited, nervous about tonight.
All of the above, right? Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes, a great character that we saw come in for the first time last time, and she is here going to make her mark, and I love it. I can't wait to see what else happens. So good to have you back. Let's go on over to the other side. Oh, I did it right with my fingers. I usually get it mixed up. Brian, returning, playing our favorite knight. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. Happy to be here, and very excited for picking up from last week's sort of big not quite cliffhanger, that doesn't seem like the right word, big reveal ending. Yes. Certainly. I'm playing Sir Calbert of Uen. He is the human fated knight of Laun, paladin who is dedicated to the fallen god of the sun. So
Absolutely. Well, Brian, it's great to have you back as well. I feel like I'm surrounded by awesomeness on both sides, so I'm going to jump right down to the bottom row. Ian, holding up the bottom row, my friend, Survivor Supreme down there. How you doing, buddy? Welcome back.
Doing good. Happy to be here. Hey, everybody. I'm Ian, or your boy Big on all socials. I'm playing Malik, the Dance Macabre Bard, who at this very moment is a little tired. Could use a little sit down real quick. But yeah, now I'm ready to get in it.
Nice. Well, I think we'll have to arrange a sit down for everybody. I think a nice little relaxation before the crazy starts to hit. But yes, it's going to be exciting. Like I said, thank you everybody for coming back. Thank you viewers for tuning in. You're part of it. So we're glad you're here, enjoying the moment with us. So without any further ado, what do you say we dive on into this bad boy and we get this story picked right back up? So when last we left our intrepid adventurers in the world of Nier, it is a world of eternal darkness. The night came 161 years ago when the god of the sun, Laun, was stripped out of his heavenly perch and imprisoned by a god of deceit and darkness. Laun is given part of his abilities to the moon, which now holds sway over the land here. The people here, as we know, are tough and sturdy folk who have survived and have adapted. There are new terrors that have come, however, with the night, and new malicious intents that start to make their presences known. One such thing is happening right now just outside of the Duchy of Uen, when we have now 3, once 4, adventurers who were brought together by fate in the ruins of an ancient keep that once belonged to a knightly order that was slain by a dark and mysterious force. The companions all came together. The first of which was Sir Calbert, a fated knight who is a follower of Laun directly and is working to make sure that the gods' strength and power are returned to the land. He met briefly with Malik, a man who seems to be a little bit of a different type of approach to the land, strange clothing, a bit of a different kind of way he carries himself, and strange habits that he has as well. The two of them found a third companion, Ezo, an Iraqian or bat type person in this world specifically, who they joined together and eventually coming upon a cult in the midst of a dark ritual. They defeated said cult and had some attention brought to themselves. We had our fourth and final member, Alora, who arrived as well. She is a Karash knight, a wizard knight, as it were, who is on a little personal quest as well. And the four of them coming together came across and had a little bit of an interaction with Kadara, a dark witch who may or may not have a tie to the mysterious Malik. In a battle that ensued, unfortunately, Ezo did fall to Kadara's might, and she had her heart ripped out. Fun stuff. But the party is reeling from said attack. Kadara was revealed her true form, a large black dragon who did roar and screaming flew off into the night to return soon to inflict more pain upon our adventurers. Tonight specifically, when the moon continues to make its arc across the sky, we're going to pick up in the ruins of the keep. Our three remaining heroes have had a short time to rest, to recuperate, to get their bearings about themselves. As we come in upon the ruins here, we will see that nearby, as the three of them sit there, a small little... Well, I shouldn't assume. Do you guys make a campfire or anything to rejuvenate your bones, or do you guys do anything different?
I mean, I think a fire for a little bit of warmth and light feels fitting, to try and keep the cold away, keep the darkness at bay a little bit, and have that sort of crackling in the middle as we take a moment to sort of sit and recuperate and go over what has happened so far.
Absolutely. So there is a small fire crackling in the center of the ruins here, where you just all recently had more than one battle, actually. Cultists, a witch who turned out to be a dragon, some other undead that came from a different time period trying to chase after Ezo. Some of these dead forms are nearby, kind of pushed off to the side, or maybe even partially buried, whatever would be the typical standard that you all would do in such a situation. In the time that you all have had a little bit of a moment's rest, you have had your thoughts weigh heavily upon you. You just met Ezo a couple of hours ago, but you were really taken by the young Iraqian, her kind way about her, the fact that she was a nice, friendly person. She had a little bit of her own personal darkness, as does anyone who walks the land of Nier, but she was a good person, and she did fall, unfortunately. In this moment, when you all recuperate, you rest your bones, you decided to, as a group, take a little bit of a long rest here. Let's go around, everybody. If we could, let's start right with Sir Calbert. As you tend to the fire, your thoughts drift off to your training, to the past that you had, becoming a fated knight. It was a long and arduous path. Being a fated knight is not something that someone just takes up easily. It is a mantle that one must accept, a burden that one has to truly accept and make part of themselves. What sort of thoughts come to you in this moment? What sort of memories dance across the periphery of your mind?
I think that, especially with the recent loss of our companion, Calbert is... he's poking at the fire, keeping it going, stirring up the embers. And as he looks into the flames, he's thinking about the first outing he had as still a squire with the Fated Knights, where they were leading a charge against, a local threat, some brigands who were still a very sizable danger to some of the people of the duchy. And in that battle, one of the other squires was killed. and it was the first time that he had been out fighting and witnessed a comrade in arms, fall in the fight. And he thinks about, the sort of grim acceptance that the Fated Knights had regarding that, and the idea that, this is their lot. This is what you do when you have joined the Order and you have committed yourself to that. You are going to strive against the darkness with everything you have, and with the full knowledge that sometimes you won't have enough.
Absolutely. The fight against the dark is a long and arduous one. As we mentioned, it's been over 161 years of that fight, of that struggle on a daily basis. And it's another day that you have to continue that fight and to hold that standard, hold that burden. As you think about these different things, our attention is drawn to the other side of the fire, where Alora, you sit, perhaps you have your Yam companion curled up out of your little shawl, having a little brief conversation. Alora, you made a really interesting point last time. You said that this actually was the first time you've seen someone be killed in battle, correct?
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, so up until this point, Elora's relationship with death was more so centered around a traditional loss. A mentor that was important to her passed away through just natural causes, and so to see this person who just seemed so living and so vibrant and so wonderfully weird just be snuffed. Not just snuffed, but to have her heart ripped out before her very eyes, just moments after her own mind was assaulted by a voice that she never even properly identified. It's a lot to process. So she's definitely holding the Yam close to her. They're speaking in a language that I wouldn't think her companions understand, and she's kind of debriefing with her Yam, Altra, and trying to process something that she's not even sure she can really process. And a thought that just keeps reoccurring to her is what would mom do? What would mom do? I don't know what mom would do. This is completely out of my scope. And so there's this just heaviness weighing around Alora as folks kind of gander at her. But eventually there's this resolve that comes into her energy as she's like, okay, well, Bergen was right. If I'm going to go out into the world and do these things, I need to accept that this is a part of it. So it's almost like the opposite of what the elderly knight is feeling. It's the fresh, I'm still getting used to all of this.
Interesting. Yeah, a nice juxtaposition, a nice dichotomy to the older knight, as you mentioned, who is a bit jaded and seen it all. You're seeing this all with fresh eyes, and so it definitely is going to be a new experience for you. Kind of caught between the two of you is the third figure of our party, who has had a very interesting dealing with death. Now, Malik, you are an individual that we have briefly talked about before who has actually escaped death on several occasions. Someone who has a very unique interaction with death. You hear the mysterious dance macabre. It's an unspoken, unheard song, a music that is on the air. It affects every dance macabre bard a little bit differently, but one thing is the same, which is that connection with death, with the undead, with beyond, affects you, and it has a little bit of a sway over you. Now, I would like to think, perhaps not in a very, not in a way that's going to make me feel happy, but in a way that I feel like is important to mention, that you also have a personal connection to Kadara, who took this new companion of yours from you all. So I can imagine there's probably a lot of things going through your mind right now, correct?
Absolutely. I think with Sir Calvert being on the one end of the idea of death, and then, our young friend being on the other side, Malik, surprisingly, or not really surprisingly, finds himself, like you said, in the middle. He's not by the fire. He's not purposely keeping himself away, but he finds himself enamored, for lack of a better term, with the area in which our friend Izo has fallen. He's standing over what's left of their friend, and he's not new to death. But with all that being said, he doesn't look at it as if it's something that needs to be hardened to. It's a part of life. It's something that every one of us at some point, in some form or fashion, are going to have to go to or go through, whether it's physically, spiritually, emotionally. There is a part of you that will die. But the beauty of it is that there's an opportunity for something else to come out of it. He takes a knee, and in his head, he's replaying the scene of Kadar revealing themselves in both of their forms. And in his mind, it's flashes of the entire scene, and it's just loud, heavy drums and very harsh strings, and it's just an orchestra of very loud music that's powerful and a little bit jarring to the ears. Head starts to hurt a little bit as he thinks of that moment where she reveals herself in her cold appearance. And then in his mind, focusing on the remains of Izo, the hard, harsh music goes into a gentle wave of like woodwinds and like smooth, just easy tone sounds, and a collection of calming, almost whispers of another opportunity. And with both of those conflicting orchestral tones going into his head, he looks down at his hands and he's shaking, and he just gently picks up a few bones and tucks them away, and he goes, "I appreciate your sacrifice, Miss Izo. We'll figure it out." And he turns around and he goes to his friends. He doesn't say anything, barely makes eye contact, sits down by the fire and pulls out his guitar and just slowly strums on it, which sounds like a mixture between the two sounds that he heard in his head. Big drumming undertones with a light E string motif to kind of make sense of what he's feeling and putting it into a creative outlet.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And as you hear that song play across the night, as it starts to come through you and start to be channeled into your instrument, part of your, outward expression of yourself, could you please make a performance check?
Absolutely. Let's go. First roll of the night. Here we go.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. 18 on the die plus 6. That's a lot. Math is hard.
24. Okay.
24. There it is.
Yes. Yeah, and the other two of you sitting there, it is exactly as Ian just described. It is a beautiful dirge that is filled on a certain level with a certain hopefulness, a certain remembrance, a certain way that the music itself almost seems to carry the personality of Izo. This a little bit strange, a little bit eccentric, but still a good, kind person. It kind of brings part of her spirit out to you, and it's almost as if she is sitting there with you all as you're sitting around the fire. I would think that unnoticed by your companions, because they're so enraptured in the music, however, Malik, I think as you play, your thoughts will kind of overtake you for a moment. And as you look up and you look at your hand, your left hand, that is, putting different notes down onto the strings on the frets, you'll see that there is a little bit of the effect upon it that starts to kind of wither away for a moment. Your left hand looks a little bit different than normal. The skin starts to shrink back a little bit. It's tighter. It almost looks like it's been burned or perhaps even scarified. And through the music, however, this effect is pulled back. The part specifically where you play about Izo, this beautiful melody, actually calms you, it centers you once more, and as you blink, Perhaps maybe there's emotion in your eyes that you control and rein in this moment. You'll look back to your hand and you will find that it is intact once more. And your thoughts will inherently drift back to Kadara. Now, I just want to point out, because we're playing D&D, so far in this game, we're about to find out what does in fact happen when the bard seduces a dragon. So, you didn't. Malik was not aware that Kadara was a dragon. However, this is a revelation as well. This information you just found out.
The interaction that Malik had with Kadar was definitely in no way, shape, or form dragon or dragon-like, unless you would compare it to the glare of her eyes as she looked at him across the room. But other than that, no. So the shock of it. So I will say this: there is a level of shock in the sense of I just saw this happen. But with the interaction that he's had with Kadara, he's not surprised.
Okay. Very good to know. Hey, yeah, there'll be a passage of time because we are in a land of eternal night, eternal darkness. There's not really going to be a sun that comes up that marks the new day. So the hours remain dark. The hours remain rather subdued. There's not any more activity. There's no more undead popping out of the air. There's no more dragons who come in the night to try to dispatch you all. You all have time to rest, get your bearings about yourself. Is there anything specifically you all want to do during this time of a long rest, during a time of kind of regrouping? Is there anything specifically you all want to do or discuss?
I mean, while we're taking the time to do it, Calbert is going to sort of walk the vicinity of these ruins again, and sort of test if, now that Kadara has flown off, are we able to leave the area, or does it still feel like we are sort of, the more we try to leave, the more we're drawn back in, and we're really stuck within this sort of immediate vicinity of this ruined keep.
I'd like to aid in that if possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you helping with them as well, Alora, or are you doing something different during this time?
Elora is not ready yet, I think. I think Elora is still processing, but having heard Malik's wonderful song and like the spirit of Izo that it brought with it, she is taking heart and is starting to look up.
That's great. All right, so gentlemen, you take some time, you kind of make a opposing circle around the exterior of the site, kind of testing out the boundaries that you felt before. And if we could please have both of you make a perception check.
All right.
I guess you can make investigation too. There could be an argument for that if that's something that's better for you.
My perception is significantly better, so I'll go with that.
That's fine, yeah.
If being that Sir Calbert did such a good job in perception, can I argue that I do an Arcana check, since the reason why we were stuck there was some magical field?
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. I got a 22 total on perception.
Nice.
Beautiful. And I got a 24.
Ooh, I love it. So yes, as the two of you make these circuitous arcs around the outside of the perimeter, yes. What you will actually find, Calbert, as you're walking is, at first you think it's a trick. At first you think it's your mind has to be confused, but you walk it again and you do in fact realize that the area around that you all were basically trapped in last time has actually receded slightly. It looks like it's about a foot closer. It's almost as if the area that you all are bound to is actually pulling back in on itself. You have a moment where you share this with Malik, and Malik, you think about the fact that this was a magical effect, as you mentioned. You think about the fact that Kadara, between what Izo did, hitting her with chain lightning, injuring her, destroying her talisman that she had that made her appear to be in different forms, you would actually think that perhaps it could be that this boundary, this thing keeping you here, is tied to her power. And if she's weakened, then it might be having a similar effect to the ability around you all.
It's possible we can get out of here. Feels like whatever was keeping us in here now is a little bit weaker than when we first started.
I agree, although it appears that that weakness is resulting in the space we have to work in growing smaller as time goes on. Perhaps we must make sure to dispatch this witch, or whatever the source of this power is, in time, or else we will find ourselves bound to perhaps soon within the keep itself, and from there, who knows?
Well, she's not around.
Hmm.
How do you
Took
propose
off in
we
the
do-
night.
How do you propose we get her back? Because we can't go to her.
Perhaps we need to look around here a little bit more. Clearly, she was after something here. The tome, which was stolen and brought here, Izo and her companions who came here 130 years ago and sought to conduct some ritual of their own. Perhaps sending her to our time, or perhaps... No, we established. Someone here brought her to our time. I would have to assume it is Kadara herself, or else perhaps the cultists working at her command. But to what end? There must be clues here somewhere.
Is this conversation happening somewhere where I could hear it, or no?
I think towards the end of the conversation, yeah, they do return to the kind of common area where the ruins are, and you do all kind of come back together. I do think you pick up the last bits of that conversation, definitely.
Yeah, and Calbert will also fill Alora in on, like, you know, hey, here's the basic gist of what we figured out.
Well, I told you, I heard a voice. I don't know if we remember that. It was a guy's voice, though. Very strange. Very strange.
And the voice told you what exactly?
He said I should not go poking too far.
Then I propose that is exactly what we do.
Usually if somebody tries to keep you out, it's for a good reason.
He just attacked me in my mind and I almost died. My friend died.
De Melora,
First-
death comes for us all one day. To die in service of the light against the darkness is the greatest death that we can ask for.
Yeah, to die in the service of... Nah, I tried. Sir Calbert's right. Death is... It's natural. No matter how it finds you, where it finds you, in what form, it's gonna happen.
But she was so, like, pure, you know? She just was alive.
And that's what you hold on to. You hold on to the fact of how alive she was. For Sir Calbert, his reasoning is for the service of the light. I'd say Miss Izo's reasoning is just being Miss Izo.
And then, like, she squeezes her yam yam one more time, and it crawls back into her her cowl. Boy, okay, yes, well, okay. So the voice. I mean, I'm afraid it's still here, but I don't really want to check again. It didn't
The
go so
voice is
well
still
last
here?
time.
Remind me, De Melora, I am not learned in your magics. What was it that you did to conjure up this voice the last time, or rather to earn its attention?
She freaked
Well,
out.
I don't like to do it because it's just so rude. But like I can detect your thoughts if I want to.
I see. Well,
What am I thinking
perhaps
right
just don't do this again?
Well, but if we're trying to get out, what if he could get us out?
Clearly, he does not want to, so we need to find some way to force his hand, if this is the case.
Maybe that's the way to force his hand. Ask him again.
Well, we didn't get to ask him before.
Now we can
I know
ask.
there was-
Come on.
But could you do it?
I could try. Well, did they tell you their name?
No.
No. Okay. I'll give it a try. Crazy mysterious voice person. I have a question.
After a moment, Malik, you start to get a tingle across the back of your neck. It crawls up to rest in your hairline. It kind of spreads a little bit to go across your shoulders. Someone who's not in the position that you are might get a chill from this, but you welcome the cold, you welcome the dark, you welcome death into yourself in a certain way. And so you just notice it's sitting there. It almost feels like a presence is standing behind you with their hands on your shoulders. It's almost like you can imagine breath just barely outside of the range of your ear.
I'm a little surprised because I don't have detect thoughts or anything like that. I was just being a dick, and, and it worked.
You forgot, this is grimdark fantasy, which means of course it's going to be like the most upsetting version of like Ghost Hunters on History Channel.
Right? I was more so trying
This is a world where when you go in and you're like, spirits, are you present? They are. They attack you. They mess with you. It's a
They're
bad
like,
time.
"Hey."
Yep.
What's going on, demons? It's your boy.
Oh my god.
But Malik, you don't hear anything. You don't get any surface thoughts. You could just feel a presence is there.
Okay, well, Miss Laura, I didn't really expect that to happen, but apparently somebody's calling my bluff. I think right now would be a good time for you to ask questions while they're here, touching me.
They're touching you?
Yeah.
And you want me to talk to them?
To just get it done. You got it.
Okay.
Culbert's opening his lantern up to see if the flame is green for undeath in the area.
When you open the lantern and it has that blue light inside, you kind of make a slow arc in all directions to kind of get the full censorship of it. And when you shine it in the direction of Malik, you do see it flickers. And the blue does turn a tint of green, like a greenish blue, like a almost like a turquoise type color. And it does hold for a moment until you go past him, and it'll return blue again. And you bring it back into the area as it shines into his area where he's got this presence around him. You'll see it will actually change color in that area.
All right, Calbert's definitely going to be standing there with the sort of turquoise light from the lantern lighting up Malik.
Hey, buddy, what's that thing do? Like, measure the level of attractiveness? What are you doing?
It's showing
Sure,
you that
something
there's
like that.
something near you.
What? I know something's near me. Listen, you guys, I don't know how long this is going to happen. I don't really want it to happen for that long. They have cold hands. Ask the questions.
And with that, like, she would hear under her breath, Alora says, "You're a brave knight, you're a brave knight, you're a brave knight." And then she casts Detect Thoughts.
All right.
And I guess knowing that the spirit is near, she says out loud, "Please don't hurt me again. But we just want to talk."
And then there is something that starts to sift into your mind, Alora. It's thoughts. You can feel the presence nearby, right behind Malik. You can tell immediately it's the same presence as before. It's strong. It's a powerful presence. a masculine presence. It feels like it is a person, a being, a force that has been around for some time because they have a certain agedness to them. They feel like they're strong, secure of themselves. And you will hear surface thoughts on the range, almost like something just kind of dribbles across your brain. And the surface thoughts are that this being is curious that you're reaching out to them again. There is a feeling that immediately follows in behind that one that lets you know that this being is not very pleased with the fact that things are the way they are right now. Like there's almost an annoyance.
I'm not
Yes.
happy how things are either, friend. My friend died, and then there was that dragon. Maybe you know that dragon, but we're just trying to figure it out, and anything you could do to help would be appreciated.
As the Detect Thoughts continues, there is another shift in the presence. Malik, you feel the presence remove itself off of your shoulders, like it's not leaning on you or has an arm around you or whatever it was doing. You feel that kind of go away. You do feel almost like a breeze, almost like a chill in the air that kind of moves away from you and goes towards Alora. And in this moment, Alora, there is another thought that goes into your mind as well. A thought of someone who is determined, someone who is going to make this work. And from where you're standing, almost in a triangular pattern with the other two, Calbert, you start to see that the ground starts to get unsettled, starts to shift slightly. There is an unseen breeze that starts to pick up around all of you. And then you notice that telltale sign, you've seen it several times now, of the air start to split and rent and start to pull. Purplish energies start to seam out of it, almost like a long creeping tendrils that begin to pull themselves out of the night and start to emerge into something else. You look and you can see that behind your two companions, the night is starting to give away to another one of these strange portals, one that you saw Izo in for the first time, one that you saw the cultists in when they were trying to summon whatever they were trying to summon, and now you see it yet again. Ian, you look like you're about to jump out of your skin. Did you have something, my friend?
Nah, I'm having a good time.
Oh, okay.
We're good. Yeah.
Okay. Thought you were trying to say something. So, and Alora, you feel that presence pull away from the Detect Thoughts. You could feel that it steps away, maybe out of range, maybe it's somehow protecting its mind against you now. You're not sure, but you feel them pull away. And it is then that both you and Malik, almost in unison, notice the same effect that Calbert is seeing. This strange air is starting to change and move. This portal is starting to open up behind the two of you. And as all three of you stand there looking and are wondering what's going to happen, you see that there is a large form, a silhouette that starts to emerge in the center of this purple, I'm going to call it a portal, this purple portal. And you can see that first one and then another hand start to push their way through, almost like they're gripping onto the portal and pushing it aside as they begin to pull themselves through. It is a large, hulking form, rippling corded muscles, and as it begins to pull itself through, you can see its eyes glow with a malevolence. Long, twisted horns come out of the forehead, drift back around to the back of their head. There is a crackle of lightning that rips through the other side that this thing is coming out of. And you see, as it pulls itself the rest of the way through, it slinks down and almost in a three-point landing onto its 2 feet and one of its arms, poof, in the ground in front of the three of you. And it slowly looks up, tilts its head. And there is a look of curiosity mixed with anger, fury even. And then you see first one and another, a third. Gashes start to form on the outside of its body, and it suddenly looks back towards the portal, and there are other figures that are starting to come towards the front of it, like they're starting to emerge as well. What do you all want to do?
One is enough. Please.
One's
No
enough.
more.
Boy, Seriously? Oh, jeez.
I'm just stuck out of character. Like, wow, that's really cool.
No,
It
yeah.
is dope.
All of
Yeah.
our amazing art is made by our producer Miko, so this is no exception. He painstakingly puts all this stuff together, all these cool overlays. He's amazing. So
Yeah.
let's give a round of applause. So yeah, what do you guys do?
I mean, Calbert, upon seeing the portal to begin with, definitely like set his lantern down and drew his sword again. Because at this point, we don't know what's going on with these and what's likely to come through them or not. And when he sees this figure that is very clearly, malevolent energy and seems to be clearly a dark figure of some kind, he is going to murmur a prayer to Loun. And as he does so, a sort of like aura of radiant energy, not quite like lighting up the area, but definitely this sort of force emanates from around him. And Alora and Malik can definitely both feel it. As I'm going to go ahead and cast Crusader's Mantle
Oh, okay.
to have that up and running.
Excellent. So what will that do for your companions?
So basically, for all three of us, as long as I have it going, it lasts for up to 1 minute with concentration. We all will be dealing an extra 1d4 radiant damage whenever we hit with a weapon attack.
Juicy. I love that. Awesome.
Giddy up.
Awesome. So as this happens, is there anything the other two of you do real quick before all hell breaks loose as this demon makes its presence aware to you?
Yeah. let's do this. Because we're just having fun, right? We'll just get real weird. Just seeing this form and already having to deal with other potential forms, Malik's going to cast Charm Person.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Worth a shot.
Sure.
It is worth a shot. Humanoid, right? That works. Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You cast it, correct?
Yeah, it's a wisdom save.
Okay.
DC 14. Now, normally they would get advantage if we were fighting it. We're not fighting it yet. We're just kind of hanging out. So it's
Yeah, right now
straight
we're just
wisdom.
chilling. So
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
we're just hanging out.
Just testing the waters, dipping a toe
Yeah.
in, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. You reach out with your bardic, your charisma. I can't talk today. I'm not sure what
I
my-
like charisma. I like charisma.
Yeah.
You reach
Yeah.
out with your charisma and you try to charm this beast, this person, this creature, whatever it might be, and you feel your magics wash over it, and it just kind of grits its face into a rictus of just annoyance, and it seems to have no effect.
Well, friends, I tried mage armor and just kind of stand there.
Alrighty. Alora,
I
you
met-
feel that last little flitter of the detect thoughts sift in again, and you hear that familiar voice. You will obey. It's the same voice. And let's roll a quick initiative, shall we, everybody?
A
Let me
quick
bring up,
initiative.
Let me bring up our battle mat. Let me get this going. Now we are in the same area as last time, you'll notice. Let me actually do this. These guys got to move because they're not on the map yet. So let me do this. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. And Beastie's going to be a little bit closer, like so. Okay. Izo will put over to the side. Poor Izo.
yeah, I was gonna say I hate to
Always
say it,
with
but
us.
I think poor Izo has to be put somewhere.
Oh. Alrighty. So, Alora, what is your initiative?
4.
4?
As in 4. I didn't get an at 1 though. I got a 2.
Nice.
But yeah,
How-
I think as that last thought filters into her head, she's kind of like,
Oh, snap. Yeah. How about you, Calbert?
Calbert was ready to go. He got an 18.
Heck yes. Malik.
Not so ready. Got an 11.
11. Okay. Let's roll for this B. Oh, that's cocked. Roll again. Ooh, okay. Alrighty. It's gonna have this. So fun. Okay.
What was that?
That's
Yeah,
never
excuse
good.
me?
That's never good.
This. What was that?
All right.
I heard the ooh, and I was like, okay, that could be good or bad.
All right, Calbert, you're
One
gonna be
of
first,
us is
sir.
dying.
Oh,
You
okay.
react with blinding speed. You already have your sword in hand, as you mentioned. You see this, it's clearly a demon. You can tell your training, you've studied tomes, you've seen pictures of demons. You know full well this is a demon. And as it steps out fully into the night, it stands up out of that 3-point landing on the ground, looking quite annoyed with the fact that you all are here. So, the initiative is yours. What would you like to do?
All right. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and try one thing. I'll do one round where I don't just move in and attack.
Okay.
We'll try something different for one round here. And as this demon has sort of stepped through the portal and it's there, and I imagine it's starting to like rise to its feet from that sort of 3-point landing you described.
Yes.
And Calbert is going to sort of stride up towards it, just brimming with this holy energy as he brandishes his sword, and he holds up his offhand, and the gauntlet has the emblem of Loun sort of emblazoned on the the back of his hand as he holds it up in a fist, and he just stares this thing in the eyes and commands it, kneel. And I'm going to cast the command spell on it. So as long as it can as long as it can understand my language, I believe it is going to have to make a wisdom saving throw to resist that command.
Okay. Wisdom save. Let's go. Here we go. Okay. 22.
That's going to do it. All right. Well, I tried.
Jeez.
And yeah, he commands it to kneel in the light of Loun, and seeing that it does not look like it's going to do that, he is going to sort of shake his head and whip up the greatsword into a ready stance.
Okay. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, you try to command this beast to bow down, to kind of step aside. It does not. It is made of sterner things. It is actually going to, as it finishes its stand, it moves in towards you, Calbert, and you're going to see that it actually, as it does, it starts to step forward, and it kind of flexes, and there is something that ripples and pops in its back, almost like there's something inside of its back that wants to break free, and it just kind of finishes flexing and popping it this way, and it's going to actually just take a swipe at you with its hand. It's a 19 to hit you.
That is a perfect match for my AC, so that's a hit.
Okay. And whoops, I just closed it. This up. Okay, you're going to take just a lower roll. You're going to take 7 points of bludgeoning damage as it just kind of basically, for lack of it pretty much just claws / punches you, hits you in the face, staggers you back just a second, and you feel yourself call out inherently to Loun to give him, or for him to give you the support in this moment, and the creature is just there in front of you. It's got a terrible snarl on its face, like it is not very happy at all. It is very interested in killing you all right now. So you do see the very last moment after it does that, though, it does kind of do like a little glance over its shoulder, almost like it's expecting something behind it. But Malik, it's your turn, sir.
The thing behind it, it's like a swirly Doctor Strange portal type deal, like it's open. Okay. I want to cast Dispel Magic at 4th level to close that portal.
Okay.
Ooh.
Go ahead and let me check something real quick. Dispel Magic, you have to make a check to make sure if it's not a high enough one to instantly dispel it, correct?
Let's
It's
see here.
what is
For
that? Constitution?
for each spell above 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spell casting. DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. So
Okay.
DC 14.
Yeah. So make a charisma check for me, please.
Gotcha. That's a natural 19 on the die plus 2, dirty 21. Or is it 21?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. And you reach out and you try to be, you try to channel to try to get rid of this magic, to dispel it, to knock it out of here. You play something across your guitar, but only part of that discordant tune that you were playing earlier. A little bit of Izo's happiness twinged into it. And as there are the three shadows that get to the edge of the portal, you see one of them in the front is reaching, almost like its hand is about to go through the portal, and the portal just starts to quake, shiver, it starts to almost fall away, and then you see it just kind of get pulled back and it snaps out of existence, and leaving the three of you with this monster directly in front of you. And so you dispelled it. It is knocked away for now.
Beautiful. I don't know how long that's going to keep. Let's try to make this as fast as possible. Calbert, here. Loud bardic inspiration.
Loud. Alrighty, so yeah, you give Calbert bardic inspiration. That's a D8, correct?
Yes, D8.
Okay.
Cool.
So you have that. Alrighty, and Alora, you see this critter?
The hounds of hell are...
Technical difficulties.
Oh yeah.
Last week we talked about the wild cats that are running rampant in Nguyen,
Yes.
and this week we're getting some of the feral dogs that have been, running across the countryside as well.
Exactly.
Literally, I
All for the fun.
unmuted and then she was like, "The neighbor dog can't say that about me."
Oh. Did you hear that, Mom?
Okay, so a question I have is,
Yes.
I was hoping to summon my sword before all of this happened, but I didn't get a chance to voice that because we kind of went into battle. Is there
Okay.
a chance that I summoned my sword?
Yes, that's fine. I feel like, yes, in that moment, when kind of before everything kind of broke loose, I feel like, yeah, you managed to pull out your sword made out of light, and it does kind of cut through the dark. You have it in hand. You are armed. You are ready to go. Yes, the Karash training has come to you.
Thank you, my lord GM. With sword in hand, we're going to start with a bonus action and cast Spirit Shroud. And as she casts Spirit Shroud, this pulsing energy lights up her sword, and you can tell she's speaking to these spirits, and maybe in undertones you hear her mentioning the Kurash Knights, and it seems like she's talking to the Knights of Yore. And as they come to her, she takes a good old-fashioned swipe at our friend here, if she can do that.
Absolutely, yeah. Let her rip.
But probably not. Wow, that was so horrible.
Oh, no.
So that's a 9.
A 9. Yes, you do a wide arc with your sword made out of light, and as it streaks through, the creature just definitely moves out of the way. Even though it's big and bulking and huge, it is fast. It's not caught off guard. So as it moves, the sword just arcs wide past its head.
Sweet. And then I just want to take like 5 feet back, and I should specify that I selected radiant damage for the Spirit Shroud.
Ooh, yes, okay. Very good. Yeah, so you kind of reposition yourself a little bit and kind of get a better view of what's going on with everything here. Interestingly enough, suddenly from behind you, the three of you hear a voice, "In the name of Laun, we will destroy this beast." And you all three see that in the same position as those shadowy forms that were about to come through the portal right as Malik closed it, there are 3 men who step out of the dark. One of them is a weird, cool little question mark shape.
It's 2 guys and two guys and a third.
2 turntables and a microphone.
I think that was another guy. Yeah, there he is.
Yes. These three men are wearing full plate armor or half plate armor. Their armor has a certain glow to it. It is catching the moonlight, almost like it is briefly illuminated. You can see that all three of them are armed with swords, very finely crafted blades, and the one in the center has a certain look of familiarity to you, Calbert. You instantly recognize their armor, you recognize the way they carry themselves, and you recognize the fact that he said, in the name of Laun, these are other fated knights. As they step forward to apparently come to your aid. The one in the front, he looks to the left and he nods, and the guy on the side here, who is kind of down towards the bottom, he moves in to step in front of Malik to assist him. And then this man in the middle, he looks to the right, and this guy does the same thing. He steps up next to you, Calbert. And then the guy in the back, he says, "For Laun!" And he just puts his sword up and motions for everyone to attack. They come surging in. The two guys, one on the side of Calbert, the other one coming up in front of Malik. The one in front of Malik, he just kind of stands his ground. He draws his long sword and pulls it up into a battle stance, similar to what you've seen Calbert fight in. The other one who comes up next to Calbert, he's going to come up with his sword. He takes a swing at the monster. Oh, not great. As he swings, it goes wide, and the monster actually grabs it with his hand and snaps the blade in half. And the knight gets a look, just the briefest of looks of panic, but he tries to hold it down. Calbert, as you see this, it is your turn to act, sir.
All right. He is going to. Do I have anything I can do to help out my fellow knight who just had his blade snapped next to me? I don't have any extra weapons on me, so can't do much for him. But he will be, his heart is strengthened by the arrival of fellow fated knights of Laun. And so he is also going to join the call, for Laun, and definitely start levying some attacks at this creature before us.
Excellent.
I'm going to go ahead. So the first attack, I will go ahead and spend... Well, first, I suppose I should ask, is a 17 going to hit?
Yes, sir.
Oh, fantastic. Then I will save my Bardic Inspiration for the time being. Okay, so that is going to be 11 slashing damage.
Ooh.
And on top of that, we get 1 radiant damage from Crusader's Mantle. Coming in so good. And then we'll go with our next attack. And that one I will go ahead and spend the Bardic Inspiration on, because that was not a great roll on its own, but all told, it's going to be a 16 total to hit.
Okay, the first sword strike, it hits it true. You slam into the thing's chest, making an X over one of the other slash marks that had already been there. As you see it reel back and grit its teeth against the radiant energy, it starts to come back in. You reverse the grip and slice up through, and this creature takes its hand and just smacks your blade away. The second one does not find purchase.
All right. And in that case, Calbert he's just sort of moving around a little bit as he fights.
Sure.
And he's going to sort of spin away from his fellow knight on his right, creating potentially an opening for one of the others to move in if they so choose.
Excellent. This creature, as you do this, it is going to just kind of throw its head back, and it's going to surge forward. It is going to actually attack the knight whose sword he broke in half. Okay. And you see that he actually takes his one hand and he punches right into the guy's face. As he does so, he grabs a hold of the guy's face, his big, meaty fingers digging into the guy's head. He picks him up and he slams him head first into the floor. Just, and you see that there's dirt clods that shoot up all over the place. The knight twitches once and then goes limp at the demon's feet. As the demon turns, you see its back flexing and popping. There is something that looks almost like a giant pincher that is starting to like slice out of its back, trying to reach out towards you. And it's going to do a check real quick. And then it kind of flexes down. It puts all of its might into it, and you see two large, powerful arms with pincers on the end just kind of rip out of its back where wings would be, just right out of its shoulder blades, and it pulls the rest of the skin free. And now this creature, this demon, has 4 arms, 2 of which are regular human type hands. The other 2 are these giant, massive arms, even bigger, that have huge, almost like lobster claw type of appendages at the end of it. And it just at all of you. Its eyes burn with that unholy bluish energy. Malik, what do you want to do?
Just kind of sit there and looking like, huh, 4 arms. Great. Okay. Just kind of looking around. Everyone's all loony. Just like, okay.
Hey, quit lounging around.
Right? Any of the things that would provide like mental whatever, I don't think I could do. At least wouldn't be good. So we're gonna try just to get some HP off this guy, and we'll with Eldritch Blast from where I'm at.
Okay. Eldritch Blast.
Nah, that doesn't hit. That's a 13 on the first one.
Yeah, it burns through the night, but does go wide. It doesn't hit the creature.
Okay, second one's better. That's an even 17.
Okay. A 17 does hit it square in the chest, hits it exactly right on its armor class rating. You see it as the first one came by, it moved like it's trying to step up over the body that it just plowed into the ground to get at you all. And as it does so, that second one hits it in the chest. What's the damage on that, please?
So it was 8 on the die, but then I remember we get into like a D4 of radiant because of the thing that you did, Sir Calbert.
That's only for weapon attacks. I don't
For
think it would
weapon
apply to a
attacks.
spell.
Okay, then it's 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Okay. Hey, that's 8 more than you guys had going a minute ago. The Eldritch Blast burns, and you see part of its skin get singed away, and it didn't like that. But Alora,
Just kind of looking at everyone else like, what do you need? Like, I don't know what to do.
Alora, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I think I would like to swipe again if I could.
I think you could, yeah.
Attack. Yeah, this one I got a 17 on the die, so that's
Oh,
a 23
yeah.
to hit.
Yeah, so you take a step in to be able to attack. Yeah, go and you swing through. This time your burning sword does in fact make contact with it. You slice down into one of its arms.
Yep, so I have the D10 that's normal damage, I have the D8 that is from my Spirit Shroud radiant damage, and then the D4 of the extra radiant. So
Ooh,
let's get all kinds of crazy.
let's do it.
Okay, so 2, 7, 11, so 13 damage.
Oh boy. Juicy,
It's-
yeah. So as you slice through it, there is like a plume of like almost like lava, almost like a burning hot molten stuff that comes out of it as you slice into its arm. It would be like blood of a normal creature, but this thing just has this hot roiling magma almost that burns out of its arm. Let's have both you and Calbert and this knight who's in the ground, because he's not dead, believe it or not. The fact he got pile driven into the ground. Let's have you all please make a dexterity save.
Okay.
It is going to be a DC 13 for half damage.
I do not make that. Dexterity is my worst save.
Oh no.
I got 13. So
You're fine.
I
They'll take half.
squeak.
The knight passed as well. So, because you failed, Calbert, you're going to take 6 points of fire damage.
Okay.
And both Alora and the knight who is down are going to take 3, which is half of that. Okay. And yes, it didn't like that. The knights who remain, the one who was on the ground, the one who got pretty much pile drived into the ground, he starts to kind of start to get to his feet. His hand reaches out. He grabs a hold of his sword. He tries to put it up. He realizes, as he tries to stab it, to kind of lean on it, it's too short because it's been broken in half. So he loses his balance and just falls back down to the ground. You can see from your vantage point, Calbert, as your eyes shoot over to him, that he's got blood down out of the corners of his eyes, his mouth, his nose is clearly broken. Something is irregularly shaped in the side of his cheek. This guy's severely hurt. The other one who was in front of you, Malik, is going to say, well, he says something you can't quite make out in all the commotion, and then he is going to actually move forward towards the beast to try to attack it. So he kind of runs up next to his fallen comrade, semi-protecting him, guarding him. And as he comes forward, his longsword, bites down into the creature once. He reverses it and slices across the stomach a second time. You can see, however, that the swords that they are using are not doing nearly as enough damage as is needed. So although it takes some cuts, these are very superficial looking. There's only a little bit of that hot molten blood that dribbles down the creature. Nothing that's going to be anything that's to write home about.
For what it's worth, they would be getting the radiant damage as well. Oh, since they are not hostile creatures. Yep.
Would they really? So
as long as they're friendly. Yeah, 1d4 on each hit.
Well, that I should roll, because that actually will bypass what's going on here. So that's 2, 3. So it will take 3 from the radiant damage from your mantle. Nice. And then the final guy in the back, he is going to come forward. And as he does so, you will see that he also has his sword that he has brandished. He takes a step forward, and as he begins to raise the sword into a battle stance to begin to come in, you see suddenly he stops, and you can see his face is a gesture, a movement of he's trying to resist against something, but he seems to not be able to for the time being. Calbert, it's at the top of the round for you, sir.
Oh crap. Okay. I wanna help him out too, but we're kind of busy with something right now, so he's gonna have to deal with that. And Calbert, as he has enough experience in battle that he tries to maintain some awareness of what's going on. So he sees that one of the knights is like staggering over there, and he calls out, stand fast, brother. But he is going to keep his focus on the creature in front of him.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go with a couple more attacks. The first one is only a 15, so that's not gonna do it.
Okay.
And the second one is a 12. Wow, the dice do not like me tonight. Do I have any sick bonus actions I can do? Nothing that doesn't disrupt my concentration, really. Well, I mean, I can invoke. Yeah, I might as well. I'll go ahead and channel divinity as well as a bonus action. So as he turns his attention to this creature once more, he misses with a couple of swipes, but he brings the sword up into a ready stance again, and he grits his teeth and growls, "You will fall." And the mark of Lound does appear, on this creature's flesh, glowing slightly.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, because you have a special ability, being a Fated Knight, that allows you to do the Channel Divinity as a bonus action rather than the regular.
Yeah, that option of it is a bonus action for me. That I can use to mark it so that I can deal some extra damage if I ever manage to hit it.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. So yes, you do that, and as you do, the demon creature, it's just going to throw its head back and roar. It is annoyed with these knights. Those two are right there in front of it. It just goes full ham. It's going to use its full attack action to make 4 attacks, one with each hand and one with each pincer arm. So, oh boy. Okay, one of those is a natural 20, and the other ones, the lowest is going to be a 18. These knights have an armor class of 17 and 18 respectively. So,
Wait.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, 30 more seconds. Silvery barbs.
Silvery barb. You have a reaction still?
I do.
Cool. Okay. So yes, you react. You cast silvery barbs. There is, as the pincher opens up and it comes in towards that guy who was pile driven into the ground, it comes down in to grab onto the back of his neck, and as it does, there is a shimmer, and it has disadvantage on that roll now. Is what happens, correct?
Yes.
Or it's just not a critical?
Yeah, so Silver Barb says distract triggering creature, uncertainty for them.
Disadvantage
Must
on the
re-roll
roll.
d20 and use lower. Yep.
Okay.
I then can choose a different creature I can see within range, and they get advantage on their next attack, ability, or save. And I'm going to choose the soldier that is the most hurt at this point.
Okay, that would be the one he's trying to grab then. So yeah, okay.
Yep.
So now that it has disadvantage, it's going to just be a 17 to hit. So that critical hit does still hit the guy, but it's not a critical hit. So that's good at least. So it comes down in and it snaps down on the back of the guy's neck. And the guy just kind of, his arms flail for a second. The broken sword is discarded onto the ground. The demon picks him up off the ground with his pincer hand and just slams him back down again. There was a sickening popping sound, and this time the knight does in fact go limp on the ground, does not move again, as the creature is going to, because it's 2 attacks, it's going to attack the other guys I mentioned. It's going to hit. So it actually hits forward with its main hand. It punches into the guy's chest. His armor just kind of grinds in on itself, and it's indented into this man's chest. And this creature rips his hand free when there's like little debris of metal that falls down around it. And then he flings his arm, and the pincer arm comes up and over and snaps down, and you see the guy's arm from the bicep down spirals down to the ground as this demon throws its head back and roars. It is enjoying this on a weird, sick kind of level. But Malik,
So I'm gonna look at this guy who's just standing here and go, "Are you gonna jump in at any point? Like, are you gonna? Would Lound want the? Okay, you're not paying attention.
come on, bro, what are you doing?
Right? Just like, dude. And then I'm just gonna try and like debuff this guy as much as I can and cast Bane.
Oh,
Needs charisma saving throw DC 14.
natural 1. So
There we
Nice.
go.
just what the doctor needed.
Something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
you feel
So
that negative energy wash over it.
beautiful. So D4 minus D4
Yes.
on attacks. Perfect.
Attacks and saves,
with-
correct?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay, cool. That's I'm just gonna stay with that because that's my action, and I don't want
Okay.
to use my last bardic yet.
Alrighty. Good to know. Alora, what do you do?
So I guess first thing, the guy, pretty sure the guy below my character is the one that is probably deceased.
Yes, I'll just take them off for the sake of ease. We usually have little marker things that Miko and I throw on there, but I don't see them working right this second. So we got some interesting stuff going on with Owlbear. I think it's because I reused the same thing from last time and updated some stuff. We're supposed to make a new one every time because it lasts for a week. But anyway, so I'll just take them off that way you know. So that guy his body is still there, but it doesn't really affect the battlefield. So yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, okay, so seeing what happened to this other gentleman, Elora wants to step in and swipe at our friend here first. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
that's
want
a
to attack the
19.
knight? Okay, cool.
No, not the knight, the big guy.
I'm teasing.
You're right, I should be specific, otherwise you will take advantage
I'm
of
just
poor
teasing.
language. Yeah, so that's a 19 to hit.
Yes, you come in.
Um,
You do hit the demon with a swipe of your sword. Absolutely.
Oh, that was, man, I'm not getting great rolls either, if that helps, Brian. Okay, so
We're suffering together, guys.
that's another 13 damage. 7 of that is radiant, if that
Okay.
matters.
You know what? It actually does with this creature, so I'm glad you said that. Yep.
Thank you. And then as a bonus action, I would like to do Flurry of Blows. So what I'm going to do, though, is similar to if folks remember last week. The
Mhm.
first one will be an attack, but then for the second one, she's going to channel her energy in the other direction and actually use her monk Way of Mercy ability to do Hand of Healing on this other guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that first, I try to punch the demon, and it just completely misses because that's a 4 on the die. So I'm assuming that's
So
a
real
miss.
quick, your Hand of Healing, what type of action is that? That's just it's a bonus
So
action, or
it's a part of my ability as a way of mercy monk. There's an ability that I have that says Hand of Healing, and if I do Flurry of Blows, instead of taking 2 attack actions, I can replace 1 with the Hand of Healing.
That's right. Yeah. You know what? And you just said that too, so you think I would have understood, but
no, it's
just
cool.
clarifying for everybody at home. We got some cool rules are stacking together, so I just want to make sure I was on the up and up. So awesome, perfect.
Yep. The part I'm trying to remember now is just how much the healing is for. There. Okay, 1d4 plus 1. Oh, I got the max, so he gets 5 hit points as I flounder when I attack the demon here, but I am calm and peaceful enough to give him support and say, "The moon shines bright, and we will not dim today."
I love it. Yes. And as you all saw last time when Alora jumped into battle with you guys against those undead, she's got a totally different way about her when she's in the zone, when she's channeling the magics, when she's fighting with her weapons, and she's putting that to good use right now. Absolutely. So that final guy, well, that one guy, I should say, who's up in the way of the monster, he is going to he calls down something and he touches his chest, and there was a light from behind it. He's going to lay on hands himself because he needs it.
Good call, bud.
Yep. So he gets 25 hit points back. And then the other guy, the guy who Malik was like, dude, you gotta do something. You see him continue to struggle against something. And Malik, as you look to him, because you're talking to him, you can see that it almost looks like there is a very faint, you wonder if maybe only you can see it, a faint purple ring around his body that's almost like it's holding him in place. His eyes dart to you, dart to the creature, like you can tell he is not happy with being stuck in place like this. And Calbert.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can hit this thing. I would love to get more than one half-hearted attack in on it. So let's give it a go. We're gonna swing a couple more times. All right, first one is a 21 to hit.
I think that'll do, yeah.
And the second one is a 13, which is gonna miss. But with that 21 to hit, I'm gonna take them where I can get them. I'm gonna go ahead and smite. I'm gonna use my other 3rd level spell slot
Nice.
to get a smite in while I have a chance. So let me go ahead and first give you the slashing damage for the greatsword. That's a good roll. That's 15 slashing damage from the greatsword. Yeah. And now, when I do the smite, I do need to ask: is this thing considered a fiend and/or an undead?
This thing is considered a fiend indeed.
All right, cool. So it's gonna do that much radiant from the smite. So that is 17 radiant damage from the smite. And then it's gonna be another 5 radiant damage between the Crusader's Mantle and the Mark of Lamb.
Heck yeah. Calbert knocking it down to double-digit health. I love to do that. Everybody's like, wait, what? Yeah, so yeah.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, sure.
You blast into this thing, a powerful blow with your greatsword, and there is an eruption of light as Loun's magic, his divinity, is driven down through your blade. It hits into this thing, and the radiant magics just blast into it. You can see its skin starts to rip and peel away. More of this weird, gooey, hot, molten stuff pouring out as it screams, roars with anger. Again, because of your proximity, I would like to have Alora and the knight and you make dexterity saves one more time.
All right, cool. Now we are all close enough together that Alora and the knight are both going to get a +4 bonus.
Beautiful.
I don't need it because I got a nat 20.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The knight, well, you said a D4 or it's a +4?
A +4.
+4, okay. So then he's going to pass with that +4, so he takes half damage?
Brilliant. I did not pass. I got an 11.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh, no. Well, you know what?
You're too busy
This-
inspiring us.
That's it. I was just going to say, this is what it is. It's all
Yeah.
about making others around you be
Mhm.
protected and to bring the light to them. I love it. You're going to take 5 points of fire damage, and both Alora and the knight are going to take 2, because that's half.
All right.
Rounded down. So, alrighty. Is that it for your turn there, Calbert?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I love it. So, this demon is going to actually, excuse me, it reacts to everything that's going on. You see it kind of just close its eyes up, look around, and it's going to actually look at all of you, and you see that there is something in its eyes that shifts and moves. I would need, looks like, how many number of creatures? Each creature in a 10-foot radius. So I'm going to need Alora and the knight and Calbert to please make wisdom saving throws.
All right, cool. You get that +4
this-
again.
Is it a mental attack?
It is indeed. It is as a spell
Ah,
that will affect your mind. Yeah, it's an enchantment spell. So yes, you're going to get advantage because of being a Willoy. Yep. All right, so Calbert, what did you get?
I got a 26.
Holy
Let's go. Let's
snap.
go.
The other Loud Knight is going to get a 16, +4, dirty 20. And then what did you get, Alora?
24.
Nice. Okay. So I believe if you pass the save, nothing is going to happen. Yeah. So that's too bad because you guys would have been so screwed. No, I'm just kidding. You feel something wash over you. You feel like there is something almost like a hand slithering across your mind trying to grab onto you. You get a bit confused for a moment, but all three of you shake it off. The confusion that this thing tries to do to you all does not work. And then it is going to just stand its ground, and you see it. After it does that, it starts to gesture with its hands, almost like it's trying to manipulate something in the air that's not there. It's moving its fingers around in a weird pattern, a weird gesticulation. And with that, we're going to go over to Malik.
Okay, beautiful. So seeing that this guy is just not, being mean for no reason, gonna make my way over to him and look at him and go, "You owe me." And then another 4th level slot, dispel magic, whatever is on this guy.
Okay. No need to roll. As you dispel magic, you see the rings just fall away off of him, almost like he's shedding a robe or something. You just see them kind of go, and as they hit the ground, they just dissolve. And he looks to you, he nods, "Let us end this threat." And he is going to just look at you like he is renewed, he is ready to go. Not quite his turn yet, but that is what he does. Do you want to do anything else?
Loud be with you. No, I'm good.
And also with you. Alrighty. Alora.
I think you meant to say "and with your spirit," but
Oh, yeah.
What
No,
denomination is Loun?
I don't know. I was more so making a joke at the change in that
Mhm.
phrasing itself. Anyways, so Elora. I think. Okay, let me double check one more thing.
Mhm.
Okay, had to double check, but I am doing what I need to do the most damage. So we're gonna keep doing that because we don't like this guy one bit.
this guy's no joke.
Yeah, he's for real. So that unfortunately though is going to be a 13 to hit, and I assume that misses.
It will, unfortunately. Yeah, you swipe out with the sword, and the creature moves. One of those pincer arms comes down, and it closes around the blade. You struggle for a minute, but it's made out of light. So as you struggle for a second, it just kind of passes through, and it loses its grip on it. But you lose the attack.
Yep. And then as a bonus action, just to see if that works, I will go ahead and do an unarmed strike,
Yeah.
which I can do as a bonus action from my monkhood.
Mm-hmm.
That one hits though, so that is going to be a 22 to hit.
Awesome.
So that's a D4, which is max, nice. And then the radiant additional is going to get me 8 damage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
4 of which was radiant.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, you just had to do a palm strike to its stomach, and you see the thing kind of go, and the radiant energy does get through. It looks like your actual physical attack from your hand didn't really do anything, but the radiant energy did cut through. That seems to be the main thing you guys are noticing is really biting through and hurting this thing, is this radiant energy that's coming through. So it's good you guys have that.
Mhm.
Alrighty,
And
so
so as she pulses
okay.
out, she says, "How do you like your chest getting pushed in?"
yeah, I love it. I love it. Nice. All right, so that last knight who was there next to you, Alora, he just kind of gets a grin on his face, like he's impressed that you did this. He's going to attack with 2 + 7 with a 9, and with a 14. Oh, jeez. So he just swipes with the sword twice, and the demon just kind of swinging his arms wildly.
This is the guy who's missing an arm, right? I suppose we can't give him, like, the fact that he's even trying is
That's
something.
true. That's true. That's why
Tis
he's
but a
rolling with-
flesh wound.
That's why. Exactly. Well, that's why he's rolling so low. He's rolling with disadvantage. So, but yeah, he is missing his one arm, but he does have his sword arm, luckily. But yeah, he's trying. The final guy, the guy who Malik just helped out, he is going to charge this thing. He runs right up towards this beast, and as he does, you see his sword blast into light as he brings it down at the creature. He is going to hit. He is going to do a smite. So he is going to do... Oh, yeah. With the sword damage and with the smite, he is going to do 26 points of damage. And so he brings his sword down, and he hits right into the thing's chest. The thing staggers back, and you see him stand up right beside you, Calbert. And he goes, "We are here, brother," to you. And Calbert, you notice that the demon is kind of starting to sway. It's looking around at all of you like it still has that bloodlust in its eyes, but it's a little bit rethinking what's going on here. So what do you do?
Mm-hmm. So am I correct in thinking that this sort of area behind the demon that we're seeing on the map with like some barrels and stuff, is that an area that Calbert would be able to sort of like duck through, and step through, or is it a little too closed in?
It is this area specifically, like over here.
Yeah, that
is
path.
like a wall. This area you guys are in here is like was once a basement to the keep, but it's been exposed to the elements. So you'll see from the fact that there is like a hill type area here and here, that this area is actually like carved into the part of the hill. This is like a little pathway that leads upstairs, or where the stairs that would go upstairs are. So yeah. So you
my
go...
my main thought is Calbert is interested in trying to sort of like whirl around the demon to cut off any escape route that it
you could do that for sure. Yeah, these circles that are these squares that are here behind it, any of these you can hit. It's kind of a little bit off center, but it's fine. Yeah, you can.
So he glances to the knight on his side and says, "Down with you, brother." And he like uses the opportunity of the demon reeling from that strike to sort of like duck under its arms that are flailing as it sort of tries to balance itself. And he does like a deft little sort of, he's not that dexterous, so it's not he doesn't do like a deft little roll. He just sort of scrambles to the other side. Yeah. But once he's there, he does he plants his feet, and with a backstroke from the sword, is going to try and cut up into the thing from behind. That is a 23 to hit.
Ooh,
Followed by a 12. So again, I'm hitting on one of the attacks each round.
Hey,
which it's better than nothing. And I will go ahead and smite again, this time just with a second slot, since that's what I've got left available to me. So the slashing damage is going to be 9 total
Okay.
from the sword, but then we're also going to get that many dice. So that is 17, and then that is another 1 on the d4. But that's going to be a total of 22 radiant damage.
Yeah, baby. Okay. So as you move in behind it, you slice into its back. You feel your sword bites for just a second into part of its spinal cord as it rips through. You see the thing stagger and fall to a knee, but it does not die quite yet. More of this molten blood is dripping down its back. I'm going to say because of the way you moved, it doesn't splash at you this time. And as you get back in around there, you see this thing is very hurt. It is going to take stock of what's going on with everything, and it's going to split its actions up here a little bit. So what it's going to do is, first things first, it is going to finish the gesturing that it was doing, and then you see as it moves a little bit faster than it should. It's going to do an attack against the knights directly in front of it. This will include you, Alora, so we're going to do it with this. We're going to split up. It's got 4 attacks, and so it's going to split up 1 on each of you, and I'm going to roll a d6 to see which one of you gets that 4th one. It'll be 1 or 2. I should say this before I roll. 1 or 2 will be Alora. 3 and 4 will be the guy in the middle. 5 and 6 will be the captain-looking guy. It is a 2. Okay, so 2 on you, Alora. 1 on each of the other guys. So let's roll on you first. Ooh. Okay. So Alora, the first attack is going
Wait a minute. Whatever you do, minus a d4.
Oh yeah,
That's
minus
true.
4 for Bane.
Yeah.
It's true,
Bane.
Yes, buddy. Okay, so that's gonna be. Oh, that's a 4 for that one, and that's a 1 for that one. Okay, so the 2 attacks on you, I will say the second one's gonna miss because it rolled a 3 plus its attack roll minus 1 for the d4, so that's not gonna be an issue. The first one, however, is a 19. Minus 4 is a 15 plus its attack roll of 9, so that one's gonna hit you. So the arm that comes in, the pincer arm. Let me go back to the right. Too many tabs open on my screen here.
Wait a minute, Kev. We're gonna do this. We're gonna silvery barbs that one that hit, and we're gonna give advantage to Alora.
I love this group.
Nice.
Okay, so rolling with disadvantage is going to re-roll. It does roll lower. It's going to be 11 minus that same 4. So that's going to be 7 plus that's 9 to hit, which is going to be 15. Is going to miss you now.
Misses.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah.
I guess it's
Thank you,
16,
Malik.
but that's all good. So yeah.
Well, if it's 16, it would hit. So that.
Oh, it does hit you with 16? Okay, because it is, 7 plus 9 is 16. I misadded. So it does hit you though?
It matches.
Oh man, I was so excited for you guys,
Me too. I was like, yeah,
So
silvery
barbed it
barb.
again.
Oh, let's see this. Okay, let me roll up some damage. Oof. Plus 5. Okay, so you're gonna take 14 points of damage
Okay.
as it hits you. It's not gonna kill you yet. I hope. So
Yeah.
that second one completely misses. On the 2 guys, it's going to attack. Okay, so as it hits you, first it punches at you. It pretty much, you feel your cheek kind of get busted, and you can feel there's a split on your cheek. There's like blood trickling down, and then it tries to grab at you with the pincer arm, and it snaps through empty air as you duck in underneath it. It takes its other pincer arm, and it snaps out at that middle knight between the 2 of you, and it snaps it around his neck, and you see that he lifts him up, and there's a popping, kind of a snapping, grinding sound, and that knight, his body from the neck down falls back down to the ground. And then as he goes to punch out at that captain type guy, the captain guy brings his sword up. He didn't have time to get his shield on, it would seem, and he does not get hit. But that one guy is dead. That's the wrong screen. I'm trying to click on the the Twitch screen to get rid of that mini, and that doesn't work that way. But that is that. There is a wave of the purple that kind of starts to sift out around again. It feels like there is a tingling sensation around all of you. And from where you're at, Calbert, you can see that in front of you, between where you're standing, where everyone else is fighting, it's almost like a door flickers in and out of existence. The rest of you see that there are walls that kind of flicker and move, almost like there is a room forming around you all, but it kind of flickers and goes back to this open type area that it was before. So, Malik, what do you do? What
The door's
round.
coming back
Oh, it kind of, for a second, it kind of came back and then faded back out.
for a second. Okay. And we noticed he was doing some type of spell thing. It wasn't verbal or anything.
With what it was doing with his hands?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it was just doing it.
Damn. Okay. Okay, cool. I guess I should probably start doing something.
Yeah, could you? No.
Yeah, just a little bit. So I'm gonna just move, kind of just like be wily like a squirrel, and just go back and forth in the same line. And we're gonna get off a couple additional Eldritch blasts on this thing. Hopefully we'll do good. Okay, beautiful. 15 on the die, so that's gonna be a 21 for the first bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Second one's a 3. So we get one good hit off of this guy for 7 points of damage.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I'm afraid to use my other stuff because he's a demon. Yeah, I feel like necrotic wouldn't. That's all I got. Like, those are my heavies. But that's me.
Okay. Yeah, so you blast out with your Eldritch Blast. The first one does hit it. It does slam into it, and you can see it gets burned a little bit. You can definitely tell that this thing is getting whittled down. You can see that it is a lot weaker than it was when it first showed up, y'all. And with that, it is going to be Alora's turn.
All right. The swipey swipe. Yeah.
Swipe.
Oh, nice. It's a 25 to hit.
Oh, snap. All right, yeah.
Getting serious now. Oh, and it's
That's
so good. So that's going to be, unfortunately, only 2 radiant damage, but
Okay.
it is 5, or no, it's a 7 force damage, because the thing I keep forgetting is that one of the cool things about the Kurash Knight Arcane Blade is that it is force damage instead of regular damage.
Yep.
And then,
I was actually taking that into consideration with this thing's hit points. So
oh, thank you.
you guys are a lot better off than you would be if it was just a regular sword.
Well, thank you. And then I think because we're all okay for now, we're going to do an unarmed strike to follow that up.
Cool.
Oh, nice. That is a 26 to hit.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So that, as she, feeling successful with the initial blow, she transitions into a new sword position and follows up with her palm.
Yes.
Oh, and her palm is furious. It's a, let's see, it's a 4 radiant and a 4 bludgeoning.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. So yeah, you slam into this thing with the radiant blade, draw back, and yeah, you reposition, you hit it with the palm as you mentioned. There is like that kind of a energy that goes around it as you punch into it. Some cool Kung Fu Panda looking stuff. Love those movies. So gotta throw them in every once in a while. And yes, that will be your turn then. Okay. The captain guy is going to make sure that you all are together on this. He is going to gesture. We put his hand up into the air. Lound, give us strength. And he is going to cast a spell on all of you. You guys all get blessed, basically. So all 3 of you are going to get a D4 added to your attacks and saves. It's the exact opposite of the Bane, basically. Okay.
He keeps seeing Sir Calbert miss and is like, I gotta help this guy.
That's it. Together! Calbert, you are up. You look at this demon. It looks you square in the face. It actually turns to see you. I mean, it's kind of like splitting its attention on both sides of the battle here, and it turns and it stares at you, a look of hatred as the two of you lock eyes. And what do you do, sir?
All right. Well, I think I am going to remember that last time we established we're using flanking rules, because that'll help. And so Calbert, he's sort of like squaring off with this thing, and he gets, he feels the blessing from his fellow knight surging with extra divine energy through him. And so the moment that he sees the demon like start to turn back around towards the others is when he's going to drive in with his sword.
Yeah.
So let's go for a couple of attack rolls with advantage.
Heck yeah.
Okay, well, the advantage helped quite a bit because that is a total of 27 to hit on the first one.
Woo!
Take
and then
that.
let's go ahead and do our second attack roll. And also helped there, that is going to be a 23 to hit with that one. So 2 hits.
Yeah, buddy.
And I'm going to go ahead and make both of those smites. We'll just do first level slots. But two smites coming on this thing. To try and capitalize on the moment that his fellow knight has given him here. So the first one is going to be full damage roll on slashing. 16 slashing damage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then all told, finally getting some big numbers here. This is good. Really big numbers. And that's going to be 29 radiant from the first hit.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
The second hit.
What? Second hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 2 attacks around.
The second hit is going to be 12 slashing.
Okay.
And a total of 21 radiant damage.
Jeez.
Sir Calbert, as this thing starts to turn back, it weighs, it measures, it finds you wanting, it turns back to the others, and as it begins to turn, you unleash the full power of Loun into this thing. Brian, tell us, how does this look when you slay this thing?
Excellent. So yeah, he, like I said, he's like waiting. He's been, locked in combat with this thing, hitting, missing, back and forth. He's watched it slaughter 2 of his fellow knights. And now the third is coming in and giving him the strength he needs to finish the fight. And so, the moment that it turns back towards the others, he starts off with just a furious downward swipe of the sword that cleaves through one of its legs. And it just slashes through the thigh. And as the demon, loses balance from that and starts to topple to the ground, he swings the sword up, reverses the grip, and just straight back down through its head. Not quite a decapitation, but more cleaving it like through the jaw and the top half of its skull in a burst of energy, slamming to the ground as the whole creature drops.
Amazing. I love it. And yeah, as its body topples, you all are standing there in this moment. The battle kind of comes down to a short wind. You see that knight. He looks at you all. He lowers his sword, looks at the beast on the ground. Then he looks to you. Well done. Loun has guided your hand this day. And he looks to all of you. Now, what are you all doing here? What is happening? I think there is time for some answers. But first, we're gonna take a break because we're a little bit past break time. So let's take a quick 5 minutes. Let's go to the potty. Let's get some fresh drinks, a snack if you want to. Do what you got to do. That was an amazing first half. And I can't wait to tell you guys the rest of the half with these fine folks. So take 5 minutes and we'll be on back. So thank you so much so far. Awesome stuff.
Absolutely.
Love it. We are back. Amazing. Thank you all so very much for enjoying the first half with us. It's a little more than a half, but it's good to be back, sharing the moment once again. We are playing through Spheres of Influence. It's the 4th arc in our Notte Eterna Dungeons & Dragons campaign that we are playing here. on channel of the same name. If you are just joining us, welcome. Hey, come hang out. We are in a world of eternal darkness. These three heroes are trying to find out what exactly is going on with these strange ruins that they are at. It would seem that things from the past are somehow getting pulled into the future. Something that Annika's character Alora knows is sphere magic, which is a new mechanic in Notte Eterna that you can actually find in the quick start guide that you can find in the link tree right above Annika's head. So if you want to find out more about it, go check it out because it's really, really cool new stuff that you can use for your game. But yes, so they just fought a demon that was summoned, and Annika left. No, I'm just kidding. They just fought a demon,
So scary.
and they defeated said demon, and now they have a knight who is in their presence as well, who Sir Calbert, a fated knight, a knight of Laun, god of the sun, recognizes as a follower of the same deity. So you're all here together. This knight said right before we went to break that he believed that it was time for some answers. Who are you people? How did you come to be here?
Well met, sir. Good to have the company of a fellow brother in service of Laun joining us on this night. I am Sir Calbert. I came here simply in search of the obsidian cultists who had recently caused trouble in the city, in the duchy. I was hoping to find any trail of them and found more than just their trail. These are new companions I have met this night as well. This is Malik, and this is Dame Elora, who is of the Kurash Knights.
Lady? A knight, you say?
Yes, Lord, lady, sir, ma'am, hang on, no, may the moon smile upon you, sir.
Thanks, and same to you. Is she all right?
She seems a little nervous, but she can handle herself fine.
If you'll forgive me, Lady Elora, you look familiar. Do I know you? You look like another Karash Knight that I have met before, another Willoy such as yourself. You look very similar. Are you her sister, perhaps?
That's probably my mom.
I don't believe so. I believe the woman in question I speak of doesn't have any children. She's not even married. She is young, like yourself.
Oh, well, that's because you're probably from the past.
The past?
Sir, if I may, your name and perhaps you tell us what it is that brought you here and what year it is that you are in or believe it to be.
What year that I believe it is? That is a peculiar question to ask, but I will humor you nonetheless. That's bizarre. My name, it escapes me. I don't actually quite remember how I came to be here. You'll have to forgive me. I think perhaps that battle took a little bit more out of it than I had anticipated. 2 of our brethren were slain, as you noticed. Maybe I'm reeling from that, but I seem to... And you see, he kind of thinks long for a second. You see, he really is searching for the information, but can't seem to find it.
Mm-hmm. Calbert's gonna look to Alora, because if memory serves, last time she did bring up the idea that sometimes with sphere magic, those who are summoned don't have full faculty over their thoughts.
Yeah, it's not unusual that you don't remember, because I really hate, she turns towards her friends, I really hate telling people this. You might not be in control of your actions right now because someone had to summon you to get here, but they had to use some of their spirit to get you here, so like they really had to want it, and because they really wanted it, they can tell you what to do and then make it so you don't remember that.
And who would be doing this?
Someone. Maybe a black dragon?
Can I make an insight check to see if Alora is withholding information, telling half truths?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check.
That's a 15.
A 15. I think you would be pretty trusting of Alora at this point. She hasn't really done anything to make you question her. However, Annika, I will leave this to you. Is there anything that you want to say or partially say to Malik, to Ian, based upon his insight that he has in this moment? Or are you being completely truthful?
As Malik kind of tries to evaluate Alora's state, he realizes that she's too distracted by having just fought and seen a demon get killed to be lying to you. So there's just like plain vulnerability on her face. There's no way that she could. It's not a lie.
Okay, cool. Didn't want to have to do this thing. Yeah, you don't know what I got over here.
Said with face knobs.
Right. Rapier. I guess I'm gonna right. I'm gonna turn to Alora and go, Miss Alora, honestly, I understand your concern and any trepidation you may have, but right now's really not the time to be afraid of what you need to say. It's actually probably more important than you think.
But words are hard.
Words are hard. Words.
They have to be the right
so
words.
hard.
You sing. How could you not know the words are hard? They have to be right.
Sometimes I don't sing. Sometimes I just play because I don't have the words. But you got them. What? Tell me everything that's going on.
Well, I don't know what's going on. My friend said I should get out more, so I went on a walk, and then I found you guys, and there was all the things and all the stuff, and it's been a lot to process, and I just...
But you know so much about this sphere magic, and I understand you're scared to tell us about it, but we really need to know everything you know about it.
Oh, I'm definitely telling you everything I know about it.
What is this sphere magic that he speaks of? Could this have to do... You say this has to do with my not knowing my full faculties about myself. Could it be that I somehow have had my memory erased or changed or blocked somehow? To what purpose?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they could do that because, maybe they don't want you to remember, and I don't know. There's so many reasons that somebody could not want you to remember, because maybe if you remember, you'd feel bad about it and you'd do something about it, but if you don't remember, it just happens and you don't know that. And you'd have to be evil to want to do those things, and I don't know, you guys.
This is all very strange, but if one thing is clear to me, it's that we have all been brought here to this time and place from all of the times and places whence we hail for a reason. I don't know what the reason is. I don't know whose reason it is. Part of me would like to believe it is Loun's doing, bringing us all together so that we can vanquish Kadara or whatever other threat arises here tonight, the Obsidian itself. Perhaps it is Kadara's will that has brought us a trap she is laying, machinations on behalf of the tyrant to bring us here for some ill purpose. But whatever it is, there is a cause, and all we must do is find out what it is, who is working it, and either drive towards it or put a stop to it.
Yeah, but the longer we stay here, more things like that are going to keep popping up.
Malik, we cannot leave.
Yeah, that's the problem. People keep coming in, and we can't get out. That's my concern. Getting out of this circle.
Sir Malik, if I may, are you in need of healing? Are you injured? You appear to have, and he gestures towards the left side of your face, and that part of your face is kind of facing away from your other party members, and
Mhm.
without you realizing that you're going to do it, your hand goes up, and you feel that your ear is gone.
Aggressively, Malik recoils, kind of shifting away from the group, and he's like, "Oh," and it's like heavy breathing that's happening, and he's like putting his hand over his ear, touching the rest of his face and his body, and he's like, "Oh, come on!" And his eyes start to do that red flicker again, and he's like, "Okay, no, we get." Starts to kind of like hum himself to calm him down. "I'm fine." Like closing his eyes, puts his head up. "I'm fine." And yeah, you can see him kind of struggling to kind of refocus.
The knight looks to you, Calbert. "I do not believe your friend is fine. He seems to be afflicted with something. What do you know of him? What is happening with this?"
I know that he is a stranger who I met on the road. I know that he fell in beside me easily enough as a companion for what seemed to be another night of travels. I know that since then he has been nothing if not bold in the face of the dangers that we have fought together. Uh, I don't know what it is that troubles him. And Malik, if there is anything that we can do to assist you, you have but to ask.
Um, I guess, Jim, I'll leave it to you. Most of the time, Malik is able to compose himself in the series of ways that he comes up, humming a song, just kind of
Yeah.
thinking to himself. Would you say in this time, I would leave it to the dice to see if it works?
I think that's fitting. I think if you would please go ahead and make a performance check.
Okay. Well, there goes that one. Wow. Okay. That's going to be a 9.
Oof.
Malik, you try to calm yourself. You are aware of how you appear, and you are aware of the toll that it takes for the concentration for you to not appear that way to others. And as you stand here and you are trying to calm yourself, there is that little bit of smoke that drifts out of your mouth, out of the corner of your one eye, as it has before in the past. You turn away from your allies for a moment. You take your hands, you try to wring them together, trying to calm yourself. You look, your left hand is completely husked and shriveled away as it was before when you were playing earlier for everybody. You see the part of your sleeve is burnt and melted away as well, revealing the skin underneath that is injured still after all this time. And you try to calm, you try to get some bearing about yourself. And I think in this moment, you are able to obscure one of these two things, either the side of your face, ear, or your hand, through your calming magical type of effect that you are currently doing. So I'll leave that up to you, Ian. How would you like to do that? What do you decide?
In this moment, Malik, he focuses on obscuring his face. He sees his hand and the direction that it's going, and he begins to flex it, trying to cover, but noticing as he covers it, more changes start to happen, deterioration, muscles flexing, bones exposing themselves, smoke coming off. His left eye begins to flicker brighter and brighter red, and because he can see that from the glow on his hand from his eye, he refocuses his purpose, not looking at his hand, but closing his eyes, putting his head up, and kind of just shaking his head. You can see his dreads going back and forth, and he goes, "Okay, well, okay, all right. He opens his eyes and he looks and he sees his hand is still that way, but he can feel that the rest of himself is fine. And half cracked smile, looking in the direction that no one else is in, turns around and he goes, "We all have our little problems.
Laura nods and reacts in character. She of all people understands weird habits.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Halbert is
Would-
definitely eyeing Malik, not in like a suspicious way, but definitely doubtful, concerned, I would say. Like there's a clear look in his eyes of like, there's something wrong that you're not sharing with us, and I want to help you. But if you're not gonna let me, then so be it for now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there is an unease. There is a strange anxiety that kind of sits with everybody for a moment, and there's a silence. I feel like that rides over the four of you as you stand here, and eventually it is the knight who turns to you once more, Calbert, and he says, "Your friend spoke about dragon in the area. What is going on with that threat?"
A figure who we thought was simply a witch of sorts, some woman with connections perhaps to a group called the Obsidian, who work in favor of the tyrant. She laid low one of our companions earlier, and with her final breath, that friend of ours called down lightning, which shattered some sort of talisman amulet and revealed the true form of the sorceress, that of a dragon, black-scaled. Roared and took off into the night.
Well, this just keeps getting more and more interesting, doesn't it? The last I recall, my two companions and I, we were investigating this, and he looks around to the ruins. This used to be a keep of our order. It was a place of power, a bastion that we would go to, that we would sanction ourselves in to be sure to rest up, ready ourselves for another sortie against the dark forces of the Eternal Night. We have met with the Obsidian, although I do not remember exactly what it is that we have met with them about. I do recall this name. However, when you mentioned it, I can't remember exactly, but I know we have had animosity with them before. They worship the tyrant, correct?
That is what I believe, yes.
Yes. And then he looks to you, Malik, and he says, "This new time that you claim that I am in now, has the tyrant returned? Did we fail?"
Who's the tyrant?
I will take that as enough of a confirmation. Dame Alora, if you will forgive me, let me ask you again, this Willow, you claim she was your mother, so therefore there is in fact something going on that is not entirely lined up here. I can tell you that in the time, and he says it kind of like he's accepting it, but he kind of thinks it sounds weird coming out of his tongue. In the time that I'm from, it has been 140 years since the sun has fallen.
Wow.
Is the same for you?
No, it's not.
Some 20 years have passed.
20 years. Well, as you said, it's something that has brought us all here together for a direct purpose. This sphere magic you speak of, Dame Alora, you claim that it was, it's made to have people brought to a time, to an era for a certain reason, for a purpose, and you believe that my memory, my affliction is part of this?
Yeah, basically, someone does a ritual, and how long that ritual takes depends on how strong the person they're trying to summon is, and when it's over, they can choose if they want that person's mind to be disoriented by the transition from one time to another, and so that causes the person they summon to obey their commands, but they won't remember it. And it lasts as long until when the dawn of the following moon comes, or like if you die, or if the person just decides they're done with you. So it's not all bad, right? Right.
So you're saying I have at most until he looks up to the sky. I would say probably about 20 or so hours at this point, correct? Until my time is over anyway.
That sounds right.
The creature that we slayed together, was it the only one that came forth? Or are there
No.
others we need to hunt?
I mean, unless
No.
you're a monster. I'm just
hope we're-
making sure. It's been a weird night. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
It's
Dame Elora has been under some pressure she's not used to yet.
I see. Well, you handled yourself well, I will say. I can tell your Karash training is proper, it is secured, it is skilled. So thankfully, the three of you were here. I dare say, with the loss of my brothers, that the creature would have been too much for me alone. So I'm thankful that you three were here to help me vanquish it. Alas, I was held back for part of the fight. There was something that was stopping me, so I was unable to be as effective as I could have been. But again, luckily you were here. What else? Well, it seemed that there was probably a lot to go over. Is there anything else that you wish for me to know? Anything that I can help you with? I'd like to say that perhaps I can provide answers, but I don't think that I can. I can't even remember my name as it is now.
I mean, if you could leave this area, that would be really cool, because we can't seem to get out.
The area? You mean the area of the keep, or?
Yeah.
Just beyond it.
I see. Well, I'm willing to try. Take me to where this area is. Let us investigate.
Sure. We'll take him up towards the path that leads back to the main road that we can't seem to really cross very far onto. And as we go, Calbert is going to... He looks at Malik and he does say, like, you... I believe it was you who closed the portal that those demons were attempting to come through after the first one arrived. You closed it, yes?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna say yeah, because does it feel like the reason why we can't leave and things just keep popping up is because for someone's sick entertainment? Like, this reminds me of a movie I saw, where like a bunch of people, it was like a show, and they like just showed up and they all fought to each other, and like whoever won like was like the champion of their area, something combat, I don't know, it was crazy.
Are you speaking of some sort of gladiatorial exercise or play?
Yeah, it's something like that. Like, it's like we can't leave, but things just keep showing up for us to fight.
Am I close enough to hear this conversation?
Yeah, I think you're all walking. The four of you are kind of walking together.
Can I make an insight roll to see if Elora thinks that he's from another time?
Oh, interesting. Sure.
Huh?
Because yeah, he's
Okay.
made a few comments that are strange. He has a strange garb about him and strange habits.
So that was a 17 on the die, so that is going to be a 23.
Oh my.
Silvery barbs. No,
Hell yeah.
You
I
see
mean,
Elora just go, oh, wait,
good.
oh, no.
You could if you really want to protect that information.
no, we'll let it ride.
Okay. Elora, you piece together. It's almost, you almost feel a little bit silly that you didn't notice it before, but you know that specifically the things that he has said, the things that he has done, the way that he dresses, the way he carries himself, things that he's referenced that you've never heard of before, there's definitely something different about Malik. It's not just a matter of he's from a different town or he's from a different area that you've never been to. It does in fact seem like he's from a totally different area that has completely different customs and strange affectations to it. You're very intelligent. I mean, you're a warrior wizard, basically. So I would think, even if it's only just on some sort of subconscious level, because you don't necessarily know, like, he's from a certain time, but you would know that definitely there's something odd, something that doesn't quite line up.
From the
Because
south
your
side.
character,
Yeah.
south side.
So that's it.
Yeah.
We
Laura
didn't
just
realize
turns-
there's
You're
Alora's
from the
also from
Bronx?
the south side.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I was kind of picturing that Alora and the knight were walking in front of these two while they were
Okay.
having this moment, but
Sure.
since she's just loosely overhearing, for now, Alora is just kind of gonna.
Since Malik kind of let that insight ride, I would feel as though that he can see the question marks,
Mhm.
and being that already so much has already happened, he just comes out and he goes, Miss Laura, if you got a question, you can go ahead and ask it.
What question? What on earth would make you say that I have a question? I'm not questioning. Well, actually, I'm questioning a lot of things all of a sudden because it feels
Honey,
like no one is
honey,
from this time,
honey,
and I'm very
honey,
confused by that. What?
You're rambling. You have a question.
Are you from now?
No, I'm not.
You're not.
Obviously not.
Oh.
How many years has it been for you since the Eternal Night descended?
It's funny that you say that, because every night for me is an eternal night. I don't get much sleep.
I feel like this
musicians
is a
don't.
very poetic way of not answering my question.
I'm answering your question clearly as I can right now. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't even think that I'm from this. How I think I think Izo said it. I don't even think I'm from this plane.
Yeah, there's
you-
planes. Yeah.
Yeah. See, where I'm from, plane means something different.
Oh. What? What is it?
The weird thing is, though, this area does feel familiar, but not in the same way that you guys feel it familiar. Funny thing is that little area that we keep coming back to oddly feels like a club that I would frequent. I would play at it, actually.
A club? Like the big stick?
Oh, shit.
I've heard it's used for gatherings of people,
Yes.
associations of sorts.
Yeah, like
Oh.
he goes back into his brain and he's like, my little nephew played this game once. It's like a tavern, right? You would
Oh.
Ah,
I'm a
yeah.
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm a bard.
Well, yeah, we knew that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
thief
so
with
you're
the
from a
barred
whole
kit.
other
Oh, wait.
plane.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm starting to gather.
But your plane is a
Interesting.
different plane.
Yeah, it's got magical lights that turn on and off when you do this on the wall. Yeah, it's weird.
And you don't
This-
have to use
this-
any
that's-
magic to do
this-
that?
Yeah, why would you not? There is magic that does this.
Yeah, There is. Listen, it would take forever for me to explain to you. I'm not from here. I'm very
All right.
not from
All right.
here. Yeah.
Perhaps we are missing our focus here. This is fascinating, and I would hear more of your story, but the point is that you also feel some connection to this keep.
To the keep and definitely to our dragon friend.
Then there must be something about the keep itself. I remember that when it was created, the knights who came before me, the founders of the order who stationed it there, when they built the keep, it was because it did sit upon a certain ley line, a certain place where magical powers would culminate and come together. They wanted to use these powers, this ley line, this ability to connect it to the land around us, to be sure that we could harness the powers of Lounge for when he were to be returned to us. We'd be able to have his power be amplified, be ready to bolster and to heal the people. That could be perhaps why there's been other visitors there as well. I remember there was an order of druids. The name
The
escapes.
druids. That was where Lady Izo, came from.
Yeah.
She was one of their number.
Oh, I see. Yes, the name escapes me, but I remember they were Iraqian folk, all of them, a group from the west. They had visited several times to study the ley line, to study the land, and see what they could do to ensure the safety of Loun's Flame. Why would I remember that and not my name?
See, that's
Magic
weird
is
because
so funny sometimes.
yeah, because we all remember our names.
Well, Dame Elora
Oh.
and myself, unless there is something which you would like to share with all of us, are from this time. We have not been summoned here, at least not by this sphere magic.
Well, and it seems like maybe even if we were, we might not remember it. But we can skip that. That's not a problem.
It's amnesia, not a problem.
Yeah, no big
big.
deal.
Have we been-
definitely gotta do that,
Have we been able to make it past the point that we've been having trouble with?
Right at this point, actually, it is about the mile that you guys are walking out. Again, it was a little bit recessed. It was about a foot further in, you notice, based on some of the signage of the trees and the way that the landscape looked. And as you approach now, you notice that it is, whereas before it was about a foot, now it's about 30 feet in. A certain section of the road where there was a certain rock formation that you had noticed that you used again to mark off the fact that it was closer in. You see that as easily a full movement past. So it's as if it is drawing even closer still. As you walk up to the area, the knight steps forward, and as he gets to where this edge would be, he stops for a moment, and you see him narrow his eyes, and he looks down, and he crouches down for a moment, and he picks up something off the ground. And as he holds it up, it's a really strange looking thing that I would say that Calbert and Elora have never seen before, nor is this knight. So that's why he's looking at it. It's a small silver box that he looks at. It almost looks like a small little chest on its side. And he looks at it for a moment, and as he pulls on it, the top third of it swings open with a click. And there's some sort of strange, almost looks like a lantern wick inside. And he looks at it, confused for a moment. It's right on the edge of the border that would go past. He
Do
looks
I
back at
see
all of you.
this?
Yeah, you see him playing with it.
Is that
You know what it is exactly.
Yeah. Is that That's a Zippo. Let me see that.
He hands it to you, still open. He hands it to you.
I pop it open, do some like cool bar tricks with it. You just hear ching, and it's go and light it. Nice.
It lights up. Yeah.
Reach into my pocket, pull out one of my cigarettes, and just go. Oh. Okay.
That contraption just makes flame?
Yeah, it's a torch.
Again, is this not basic magic that wizards are capable of performing without such a device.
But can you imagine? With the device, anyone could use that.
A lot of people do.
I suppose so, but and like Calbert gesture, he like opens up a pouch on his belt and pulls out like he's got a tinderbox.
Right.
He's in like his flint and steel. And he's like, this if I need flame, I mean, perhaps I simply do not understand the convenience.
Tell me how long it
certainly
takes. Yeah.
is
Can
a
I-
benefit, I imagine.
So I know I had one earlier. Is this mine, or is this a different one? Because mine was my grandfather's lighter.
Mhm.
Is this my grandfather's lighter, or is this a different lighter?
This is the same one. It's yours. It's your.
It's
your
mine.
Zippo. Yeah.
Oh, looking at it again and be like, oh, I must have dropped it.
Yeah, you had it
somewhere.
earlier, so you're not sure why it's out here all of a sudden.
It's weird. Did I drop it when we went to look?
Calbert is
around?
going to try at this point to step past where the lighter was on the ground.
Okay. You step forward to right where it was. It's that edge of where the barrier would be, and as you step forward, it's that same something stop. It's not like you're hitting a wall. It's just you can't move forward any further
Yeah.
past that point.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was worth a try if that was some sort of anchor for the magic. Failing that, perhaps, Malik, while you have begun to share with us some information, you finally mentioned that you do in fact have some connection with the dragon, Kadara.
I do. 1 second, and I take the lighter in my hand and I
Uh-huh.
try to like push it past the barrier, if that happens or not, or if my hand stops.
Interesting. You take the lighter. It's closed. It's open. It's lit. It's not.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it and I'm gonna light it. Yeah,
Okay. And you push. Which hand is it?
it's my not affected hand,
Gotcha.
so
And
it's
you
my
take your right hand.
left hand.
Oh, it's your okay. I thought it was your left
Yeah.
hand. That was the one that was messed up. So it's not then.
It's the non-affected hand. What?
Okay.
What am? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't
I
mean to be
got you.
confusing.
No,
Okay.
no, it's on me. You're good. You take your non-affected hand. You open the lighter and you begin to push it through. And as you begin to push it through, you see as your hand goes through where the barrier would be, you watch as the skin just kind of. Like as you put it through, it's just like burning and flinching away. Yeah, you snap the hand back. Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Sure.
It didn't hurt. It just was deteriorating.
Okay. So that's 21.
21. You pull your hand back. You look down to your hand, and you see that it is restored to the regular way that it looks. The other one that was revealed a moment ago, when you had to decide either, affect that or affect your side of your face, that one still looks the same. But this one doesn't look any different.
But would we have seen like something happen to his hand when he tried to
Yeah,
push
you
past
would have
the barrier?
seen, because he was doing this,
yeah.
especially with the light.
So,
that had a
so
little bit of light around
Calbert,
it.
he steps forward and is like, "Balance light, Malik, what's wrong? What happened to your hand?"
I don't know. I think it's this barrier affecting my body. It's weird, but I was able to push past it.
You were.
I'm gonna put the lighter in my pocket and I'm gonna touch the barrier again. Am I able to push past it?
You go to push past the barrier, and as you do, you feel it flex for a moment and
Mhm.
hold.
Damn. So I can either get out of here or just look silly in front of all of these people.
The knight looks to all of you and he goes, "This is where you wish for me to try to see if I can move past."
Yeah, certainly. If you wish to try and step beyond the
Here, dude. Yeah,
threshold.
try this. I open the lighter, I light it, I put it in his hand and go, try to push yourself past there.
He takes the Zippo, he looks at it, he nods. puts it forward like you did, and as he starts to step forward, and as he does, as his hand holding the Zippo goes through where the barrier would be, you see as his hand disappears and the Zippo drops on the other side. And when he pulls his hand back, where it went, about halfway up the forearm, down, is completely gone.
Gone?
What is this? What are you doing to me? What is happening here?
Well, no. It's not.
Calm down, sir. And I don't know that it does any good, but Calbert will use a small bit of lay on hands to, like, assuming it looks like it's severed, to just, like, cover it up so he's not, like, gonna bleed out or anything like that.
Yeah, you just do a quick, it's just enough to seal over. The skin right there kind of heals over shut, so basically his arm stops about, just above the wrist, about 3 inches above the wrist.
Yeah.
His eyes dart over to where his hand went through, and you guys see the Zippo on the ground. It got knocked shut when it fell down, so it's not burning or anything like that. His hand's not on the other side. It literally disappeared as he went through it. What sort of magic is this? What is happening? Is this what the dragon has done? By Lala's light, we will have answers for this.
But I think do your range. You might have a range. You might not be able to go any farther. I don't really know. I know a lot about spear magic, but maybe you have a limit, and you found it, and it was bad.
Yeah, I want to take my lighter.
You want to reach through and grab it off the other side? Is what you're trying to do?
Mm-hmm. See if I can.
You go forward and you reach forward, and much like when you tried a moment ago, your hand starts to go forward. You feel the barrier flex, and it holds.
Damn, that was it. That was the thing. Like, and you can hear Malik go, "That was it. That was the thing." Oh, okay, cool.
Malik, there will be another way. I would not have you risk injuring yourself in a similar manner, or have something happen to you.
That was the way. That was the way. Right there.
Wait, you think though? But so that thing was from the future, or wherever you're from, or the plane.
It's my granddaddy's letter. He gave it to me before he passed.
That's so beautiful. I have stuff from my family. Oh, but sorry, I can't be distracted. Do you have anything else we could try? Maybe that could go through too.
We're not gonna start pushing my effects through this thing.
Look. The lighter is beyond our reach now. This is what you called it. So we need to find another solution. Let us return to the keep. It is central to everything here. The keep is where the cultists came to perform their ritual. The keep is similar to this place where you played as a musician, a minstrel. It is where Izo and her druidic fellowship went to investigate. It is where you and your brothers in arms went to establish this fortress on the ley line and to investigate against the darkness. It is at the heart of the area which we can walk. There is something there. I feel it. I am sure of it. There is something there that we must discover or destroy.
Now, how many times do we get? I mean, I agree. It's the central focal point. But how many times are you and I going to walk in a perimeter to come back and go, "Ooh, there's a feeling." There's nothing. What are we going to be looking for? Then you could see the Malik starting to get like very frustrated about the entire deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Elora wants to do two things.
Mhm.
First, she hasn't tried to go through the barrier yet, so
Right.
just kind of reaching out to do that test. I assume it's the same as everyone else.
Alora, as you step forward and you put your hand up, it's like there's nothing there.
And so, like, tentatively
step
putting
through.
both arms out.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, you see
stuck.
her move right through it. She's on the other side. As she does, the rest of you, as you see her step forward, you see just a slight shimmer, almost like the heat on the horizon on a summer day, just a shimmer in the air as she moves through something, and then it settles itself and is clear again. And she's through.
And when I turn back, like, what do I see? Does it look different?
When you turn back, you see the three men standing there. However, the three of them look very different. You look upon the knight standing in the middle, and what you see is a tall figure. He's wearing the same armor, same clothing. He's carrying himself the same way, but what you notice is his armor is dark. It's pitted. It almost looks like it is somehow made vile, or it's been somehow just made evil. You can see his face matches the same face of one of the three undead that you fought with the other two in the battle before Izo was attacked by the dragon and everything. You recognize he's one of those three, the last one that you guys had defeated. It's the same exact man. Standing next to him on his side, you see Calbert standing there. He looks the most the same, but what you notice about him is you can see that his eyes are extremely sunken in. There is like a red to his skin, almost like he's been heated up, a sunburn, I guess you could say. Parts of his armor look like they're melted and slagged away, almost as if there was a great heat or an energy that was pushing against him. You can see part of his hair is singed a little bit, and behind him, almost like it is part of the horizon, maybe part of him, maybe it's, for lack of a better description, maybe it's part of a spirit that's nearby. You can see that there is a man standing behind him, a young man who has bright blonde hair that is up and kind of flared to one side, making it look very unique and different. Almost looks like a sunburst is on this young man's head by the way his hair looks. And when you look to Malik, you see a figure who actually, if you could please make a wisdom saving throw.
I got advantage on these. Yeah. Okay, so 22.
22. And for the best word to use, Malik's terrifying. You know it's him. You stifle down the fear that starts to rise up, but what you see is your friend is deformed and disfigured. You see his clothes, the same black silken type clothes that he has, are burned, and they hang on him in such a different way. His face, the long dreads that he has are pulled back. The hair that remains is a whitish gray color. It almost looks like it's thinner. It's not as healthy. His skin almost looks dead. The entire one side of his face is bleached bone. The other is pitted and burnt almost by acid. Skin that's super tight to his face. You recognize that his hands have a similar type of affectation. The one that you noticed before he was trying to hide from you all has the same type of pitted look, and the other is a skeletal hand. You do see the guitar still strapped against his back, but it's very just very strange looking. It almost looks like its shapes are twisted out of order. It's not completely smooth and rounded. It's almost like it's twisted and sharp edges and things of this nature. And that smoke trails out of his mouth, almost like some sort of unseen smoke. His eyes lock with yours, and they burn with something that is not entirely natural. You all see her reaction. You see her like looking at the three of you and looking shocked.
And you can have me read like a stealth or a sleight of hand check, but seeing her reaction, Malik already kind of clocks it, and he goes,
And Elora, I think probably should start with an insight check just to see how, like, because I feel like I'm picking up a lot of what you're putting down, but I want to make sure I'm not overstepping what she's picking up and putting down.
Okay, sure.
So that's an insight of 19, actually.
Okay. So what exactly are you trying to have confirmed? What exactly are you trying to be sure of, Annika?
Okay, theory one. Well, okay, so zombie guy is pretty self-explanatory. I guess just like how much of Malik's situation would she be able to put together? Like, assuming that she's never heard of Dance Macabre, so I'm not exactly sure about how much she might know about that. And then, is the guy behind Sir Calbert Lown? Or someone like Lown?
I got you.
Loun.
Is it him?
As you look at the three companions, yes, you look to the knight, and you can tell that definitely what you're seeing is his true form revealed. Maybe even, I mean, you're talking about the fact that, as best you can figure, you're very intelligent. So, as best you're figuring, it sounds like Malik is from the future. Like he's from a time that hasn't happened yet. His
Yeah.
strange garb, the things he references, the way that he talks about things that you take for common knowledge as something that is weird or almost like old-timey to him. So you can, it's almost like you're seeing future glimpses of each of these three men, almost like the sphere magic that binds them in place is revealing what their fate may be. So you see the main knight, you see him as one of the undead warriors, you see Calbert as a man who looks like he's maybe taken on a great heat, a great energy of some sort. The figure that you see behind him, from artist renderings and things like this you've seen in libraries and in religious tomes, this would be Loun watching over him, giving him blessing. And when you look at Malik, it looks like he is dead, but that he somehow still walks. He has been forced to walk the land as an undead, it would seem.
So let's see. Okay, sweet. This is a cantrip. So Elora is going to point at Malik and Calbert and send two different messages. The message she sends to Calbert is that Loun is with him, but sorry, before I send the message,
Fine.
that is the soldier guy. I just want to make sure I understand that right. He's not like some undead that someone is trying to use to trick us to like make us feel safe or get information, right? He ends up being one of the undead we fought.
That's
is
right.
What you're going for.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. Wanted to know how tricky you were being there.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Okay, so Loun is with you. Depending on, well, Loun is with you. Keep an eye on Malik. I'm not exactly sure what's up. Sorry, I suddenly realized I had to do math because it's 25 words.
Number of words, sure.
And
And then what do you say to Malik?
For Malik,
I just told Calbert you're a creep. No.
I see you.
Yeah.
I'm not one to lie, so I will try not to say anything, but you saw my face. Kind of acknowledging that
Yeah.
she gave something away.
For sure.
And then I guess she's gonna try to step back through. Ooh.
And you can't. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
No,
That would have been insane.
that would have been very insane. You you step back through where the barrier would be, and it's again like there's nothing there.
You bring my lighter, please.
Oh, yeah. And then she like,
Yeah, she goes back, she picks up the lighter, she comes back over with it.
Thank you. And Malik turns and walks back to the rune.
You do notice, Alora, that when you pick it up, it looks old and pitted and some maybe rusted, like it's been laying out in the field for forever. And when you walk back through, it looks newer. It looks the way that Malik had it. So when you give it back to him, it looks the way he's used to seeing it. And the knight stands there looking at the three of you. You've got to be the strangest people I've ever encountered, I'll be honest. But if we're going to defeat this dragon, we need to go back and we need to regroup. You think that she is behind all of this? Then we must seek her out. We must stop this once and for all.
Seeking her out is a grand plan. Unfortunately, as we have said and as we have shown, It seems that perhaps only now Dame Elora is capable of leaving these grounds. And while I would ask of you in your duty as a knight of Wen to seek out this dragon and lure it back to us so that we might slay it here, something tells me it will not be all that easy to accomplish.
You believe the dragon can pass through this barrier that we encountered?
We witnessed
Dragon
it fly off,
created
did
the
we not?
barrier.
You did witness it fly off. I mean, that barrier is about a mile radius, so I mean, it's got some space. I mean, it might not be outside of it, but you don't have enough information to know for sure.
Perhaps we can go see if we can track it down the direction it flew earlier. It seemed to vanish into the night, but it's possible it swept low and found a spot to go to ground.
Very well. Is there anything the three of you need to do? I myself, and he looks at his missing hand. I myself feel surprisingly unimpeded, but I am willing to take time to recuperate, to form a proper plan. We don't want to simply walk into the lair of a dragon. That would be terrible, to be honest.
A brief rest to gather ourselves, perhaps formulate a plan of sorts, and then make our way into the creature's lair if we can find it. Perhaps searching for it first, and then taking a moment to collect our wits before we plunge into the darkness.
Agreed.
We have to fight a dragon.
Take out Dame Elora. How many Korash Knights can claim that on their first combat outing, they slew such a beast?
Well, I wasn't a dragon, but my mom.
Then you will have honor equal to hers.
All right, so you all take some time to kind of just think about everything that's gone on. There's been a lot of information, a lot of revelations this evening. Is there anything any of you want to do one-on-one before you go out and do stuff? Is there anything you want to prepare? Anything you want to, I know we kind of took a long rest earlier, but if there's anything you guys want to do now, like, I don't know, maybe you ready different spells or ready different abilities or anything you guys want to do to get ready, we can kind of play loose with that a little bit to have you guys be ready for going to track down a black dragon.
I'm going to begin to ritual cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
Because that may help us. Maybe, like, if we do come up against the lair, we can send that in there. You know, that whole deal.
Cool. I'm going to make a note here. And Malik, with the fact that Elora really saw you, is there anything specifically that changes your mindset about what your goal might be here?
Yes. Malik, when we're taking this time to collect our thoughts, Malik will go to Elora. Well, I guess before he does that, is everybody kind of just like sitting and hanging out and tending the fire again, things like that? Or
I mean, I would think so, but I don't want to assume for anybody.
Calbert actually is going to what he suggested. He goes to his horse and saddles up, and he is going to take a quick poke around in the direction we saw the dragon fly to see if he has an idea of where its den would be before he like settles in for a rest.
Okay.
Just to see if there's anything he can dig up there, and that would give probably ample time for a private conversation elsewhere.
Great. Okay, we'll come back to that in just a moment then.
So Malik goes up to Elora, and he's playing his guitar because that's part of his ritual cast. And as he's playing, he stands next to her and he doesn't look at her, but he's looking straight forward and he goes, "Got that question for me?"
Why are you dead?
That's a very complicated question. You want the fun story, or do you want the sad one?
I want the truth.
A little of both. I know Kadora. I know Kadora in a way that I didn't expect to.
Like you knew her?
Yeah, I knew her. It was my first night playing in the tavern, and was super excited. My granddaddy was a pretty well-known musician in our area, and I wanted to be just like him. So
I know what it's like to have a legacy to live up to.
you do. You're gonna have to tell me sometime about your mom. She sounds like she's a lot to live up to.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
But yeah, wanted to be like my granddaddy. So I'd go from place to place, playing some of his songs, playing some of mine, and I got pretty popular. I got so popular, in fact, that I don't know, people started to notice. And the more I was noticed, I guess you should say the bigger my head got. The ego kind of got to me. I met our friend one night here, and she promised me everything I wanted. Riches, fame, bigger than my granddaddy. And I didn't know I wanted that until it was offered to me. So, she asked for something simple. Something that not bragging here, but something that I've done before many times. She just wanted a bit of company. So I gave it to her. Apparently my ego was bigger than my promise, and I left her by herself in an effort to go get what she promised. She didn't like that. Long story short, she told me that... What'd she say to me? She said, because of your arrogance, your outside will represent what I've seen on the inside.
Oh,
I went to sleep.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was... Oof. That was 50 years ago.
Wow, it's a really long time to be dead. I'm really sorry. It looks like it hurts. Does it hurt?
Sometimes, but I learned to deal with it. And he pulls up his hand that's like all masticated and whatever. This is what happens when I can't focus, or when my ego gets too big.
Or if you step out of a magic bubble.
Or if I step out of a magic bubble.
Yeah. Wow. Can I touch it? Is that weird? What is
Please
weird?
don't.
Okay, sorry.
Don't be confused, Alora. I'm not a good person. I'm not. But I'm not a bad
We're all
person either.
human. Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, okay, I mean, that's fair. I guess that's probably true. But just because you're not human doesn't mean you're not alive. But, like, in a
I'm
not
not.
alive way, you know, right? You play beautiful songs, and you can't make beauty like that without having some sort of feeling.
You're right. And that's the only thing keeping this together. But when we find our friend, I'm going to take from her the one thing that I want above everything else. Above my music, above my appearance. I want my peace.
You deserve it. 50 years is plenty of time. Malik, you didn't have to hide this. I bet Sir Calvert would love to help you get peace.
You are so precious. Stay that way. And he's going to start to walk away, but he's going to turn around and he goes, you know you don't have to be your mom, right?
Well, I mean, I already tried that, so stop trying.
But for some reason, you're still trying. You're good on your own.
Well, thanks, Malik. So are you.
Appreciate it, Laura.
Yes. Do you share this moment? And as you walk off, Malik, it is almost like a certain understanding is left in your wake. The two of you kind of understand each other a little bit better. You kind of come to terms with who each of you are, what your point might be here, for lack of a better description. And Malik, as you are walking over to the area where you want to go sit, you don't sleep, as you mentioned, so you resting is just kind of just resting, taking a moment to yourself. As you're walking over, you can see the knight, this unnamed knight who doesn't remember who he is standing, and he's watching in the direction that Calvert rode off in. And you can see that he is holding his hand that's missing to his side in a certain way that we would be basically letting you know of, you've seen this before, people who lose a limb and they still kind of think it's there. He's kind of doing that. He's still holding his hand in a way where you can tell if he's almost like he's trying to use it, to feel it, to know it's still there. And without turning, as you approach him, as you're just moving past him, I don't remember everything, but I do remember my name. I think it had something to do with passing through the wall there, but I can't be certain. And
Yeah.
I want to tell you who I am, in case we don't entirely make it back from what that dragon is going to try to do to us. So, he turns to you. On this day, well met, Malik. I am Jason of House Voorhees.
Excuse me?
Something I thought about when I went through the wall. That name came back to me. I remembered it vividly. Remember, it is who I am.
Yeah. You know what? That makes sense. And he looks down at the hand, or is missing their hand. That makes a lot of sense. The way that you swing your sword, it's strong. It's fitting. Jason of House Voorhees.
Yeah, he just turns back and looks off in the direction of the woods, in the direction of where Calvert had ridden off.
Before I walk away from him, I tap him on the shoulder and I go, "You know something cool?
Of course.
Where I'm from, the House of Voorhees is very well known. Strong name." And then I go, just walk away.
Yep. Yes, because you think about when you met Kadara. You remember that movie had just come out. So yeah, you remember. And you just let Jason have his moment to himself. Whether it's wrong or right is not for you to decide. We all find our own ways in this world, and we all determine what's important for us. Nearby, Calbert, on the back of your horse, you ride around for a bit looking for sign of the dragon. And as you do, go ahead and make a survival test or a perception test, whichever you would care to do is better for you. I will say if you make perception, it's probably going to be a little bit of a higher DC, but I'll let you decide what you want to roll.
I'm equally trained in both, and survival is what Calvert would normally use for tracking. He's used to trying to track down enemies, and that is a 24.
Ooh. You do, after some time riding around, you go in the general direction, and you do actually find after a certain amount of time that there is a spot on the ground where it looks like some blood dripped. And then there's some more here. And it goes into like a zigzagging pattern, almost like either Kadara was so injured that she had to fly erratically, or she was flying in a way in a zigzagging pattern to try to have, if someone was going to follow her, to lose her. But you're an expert tracker. You have been ever since you were a boy. I mean, you were brought up, if I recall properly, you were brought up with, with horses, with tracking, with riding, hunt, things of this nature. So this is secondhand to you. And you follow this trail to the tree line to where you actually find that right on the edge of where that perimeter is still pushing in. You notice it's actually a little bit closer while you've been riding out. It's still drawing its way in. Now it's probably closer to 50 feet as opposed to 30 feet in. You see that there is a dark shape that is up on a small little ridge, a little, I guess you could say like a little hillock, a little area that's kind of a semi-rocky area here. There's some trees that are around, and you see the large shape is up there, and as you get close enough to be able to see it properly in the night without getting too close to be alerting them to your presence, you will see that it is in fact the large adult black dragon. She is nestled up on top of this ridge, and she is positioned in a way you can see that she's got one of her wings up, and she's gesturing and looking at it. You can see that there is, from the battle, there is a hole that's kind of semi-cut and ripped down through one of the webs along the bottom. And you know that she's tending to that, and she's trying to, just look at it. She doesn't seem to have caught the notice that you're there, but she does suddenly say, "I'm doing my best. You have to believe me in that." She stops for a minute, almost like she's listening to something. "I understand. I'll destroy them all. I know things are different now that they know. Of course. Yes." And then she's listening again. And she keeps looking in a direction like in front of her, like where somebody would be standing if there was a person standing in front of her. And as you look, you swear you see just a slight outline of a figure, almost like a silhouette in the night standing in front of her, but you can't make out the details of who this person is unless you were to try to move closer. Do you wish to move closer, or do you wish to just let it be for now?
No, we stick to the plan.
Okay.
Calbert, he sees this and he is very curious, but he decides to sort of ride casual and just keep going and turn his horse a little bit and complete his circuit, but definitely rounding back towards the others to let them know that he has found our quarry.
Okay. And you do. You begin to ride back, and as the moon reaches its zenith once again in the sky, making this midnight, the brightest point of the light shines down over, illuminating your way back to the others. You don't even need the small fire that you left burning when you went out to go track her down. And you approach knowing that this time, when you all come together, you will be trying to go out and to stop this dragon, hopefully reverse whatever it is that she or this unnamed figure, this silhouette that you saw her listening to, has done to all of you, and hopefully get everybody back where they belong. And that's where we'll call tonight's close for the evening. Thank you all so
Yes.
very much for hanging out and watching some more La Notte Eterna. This was an absolute blast. I am loving these characters. I have been so blessed to be working with such great people on the channel. This group is no exception. I love what you guys are doing. Fantastic role play tonight. So much cool stuff. Before we go around and we say who everybody is, I want to say thank you all so very much for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching. Well, I want to say thank you to Miko, who's behind the scenes doing all the producing. Like I said, he does all the art. He's doing these cool overlays. He's doing these transitions. And every once in a while, the voice of God comes in and lets us know, hey, you did that spell wrong, or things of this nature, because he's awesome like that. Great guy. I'm glad to have him here, part of the group. You've seen him on the channel before, and if you haven't, you need to check those episodes out on our VOD. But I want to also thank Tabletop Audio, who has been providing all of the music you've heard tonight. Also Neutral Party, who had the battle map that we pseudo used. And then also I want to thank the players who have returned. And I'm so sad to say we have one more night with these guys in this arc anyway. With La Notte Eterna, the Eternal Night, maybe perhaps brings people back for purposes unknown to us mere mortals. So let's learn about these folks before we say goodnight real quick. Let's go over to same order we said hello to everybody. Hello, Annika, please tell the kind folks at home, besides playing Elora tonight, where can they find you? What all are you all up to? What are you doing out there in the world at large?
Yes, so this evening I was Elora, a knight maiden who is a Kurash knight and a monk following the way of mercy. In my real world, my name is Annika. In my social world, my name is Anine Wanders. And I am transitioning from a period of being super busy doing lots of things to a slower time. So I will be here next week for the finale.
Oh, yeah.
A few days before that, on the 17th, I will be over on Bleak Season's Twitch channel for a Witcher one-shot, and I
Awesome.
believe that's with your boy Big here, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Maybe. Oh no, you had to say no to that. Never mind. I'm crazy.
Oh man, one
then...
could play everything with Ian. I will say that.
I know.
Enough going on, y'all. Hey, I would. Okay, I will stop.
No, I get it. We were talking about how busy we all were before the start of the session.
It's very true.
But yeah, so the 17th, The Witcher, and then on the Wanderer's Haven, I will be doing a Shiver one-shot on the 29th with Kev here, and then the day after, on the 30th, I will also be on Wanderer's Haven doing my debut as a GM. We're going to playtest the Obojima Tales of the Tall Grass material in preparation for exciting Ghibli and Legend of Zelda times.
I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So definitely stay in touch and hang out if you enjoy my silliness.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Annika. Elora continues to be a great character. I love everything that we're doing with her. So thank you very much for doing this again tonight. And thanks for letting everybody know where they can find you. Good stuff.
Thank you for having me.
Over to the other side, our good friend Brian. Brian, it's always a pleasure to have you join us at the table. So please let everybody know where they can find you and what else you're doing. I mean, we've mentioned it before, but it bears repeating.
No, yeah. So yeah, when I'm not here as Sir Calbert, which it's sad to believe that there's only one more time I'm going to be doing that for this arc. This has been so much fun. When I'm not here, the main place that you're going to find content that I've done in the past is going to be finding a show called 2 Weeks One Shot. TWOS Cast, Two's Cast is how you'll find it on pretty much any socials, all of your podcast platforms. And that's a show where I, with some buddies of mine, we do one-shots in various tabletop games. We, do like a few episodes. So kind of like this format on the channel here, where it's, these sort of like 3 or 4, 5 episode arcs, going through different games, highlighting some cool stuff that goes on with them, making a lot of jokes. In that case, we definitely lean a little more into the comedy side of things. But it's a lot of fun. And I'm actually sort of in the opposite of Annika, where like right now that's on hiatus. And so I find myself, looking forward to when we're going to have season 3 come up. But in the meanwhile, I enjoy guesting on things like this with you, Kev. I enjoy guesting on all sorts of stuff. So, if you like what I've been doing and you want to see more of it, you can make that happen.
Yeah. And Brian's a nice guy, honestly. So, please, we've done other collaborations before. Super great guy. He's awesome to have at a table. So Brian, thanks again for being here, man. I appreciate it.
I'm enjoying it.
Awesome. That's what I love to hear. Ian, our boy down on the bottom there, how you doing, buddy?
Holding it down.
I was gonna say our boy Big, but that felt weird saying that. So, but that's right, though.
It's part of my name. Yeah.
So, Ian, man, you have a lot going on. So, list it all off, my friend. Tell us all the stuff.
Oh, yes. So, unfortunately, I'm not joining our friends in the cast of Winding Down, but you know what? I'm happy for it. I'm super blessed for it. But hey, you guys, my name is Ian, or your boy Big, which is YABOIBIG, and you can find me on all of your social media platforms at that same name. And yes, of course, I will be here next week for the final episode in this arc, which has been amazing. And of course, I'll be playing Malik the Dance Macabre Bard. In addition to that, of course, I'll be over in Wanderer's Haven in their latest Hysteria arc, playing Kettle Portsmouth, which I'm super excited to play. I cannot wait to jump into that arc with Miko GMing and the wonderful cast over there for the Hysteria arc. On Sundays, this coming Sunday, you can see me on Times Lord's Wife channel playing in our super chill Dragon Rider campaign, where we just got our dragons. We're going to start training them. It's going to be crazy. And then, of course, that evening, if you haven't gotten enough of me, you can definitely see me on the Magic RPG channel playing in their Icewind Dale campaign in the middle of season 3 as another bard, but a tiefling bard. And hopefully I make it past this episode, because we're going to die. If you don't...
So like here,
Yeah, like here. Also, although I won't be playing in the Witcher game over there on Guild Superior, I will be playing in the Shadowrun game over on Guild Superior, and I'm super excited for that too. The cast is also amazing. My first time playing. Oh yeah, Kev, you're going to be there with this too. Everybody in there's super dope. First time playing under Bleak, and I'm super excited for that. And if you don't like seeing my face, but you don't mind hearing my voice, you can definitely check me out on all podcast platforms at the Emergico podcast, Digimon theme, actual play. And if that's too bright and summery and Sunday cartoony, you can definitely hit me up on the Fang Game podcast, where I play a very old, very suave vampire club owner by the name of Ramsey. And that's a lot of fun too. So...
Absolutely.
Thanks again, Kev, for having me here, man. This has been a complete and absolute blast.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate all three of you. I appreciate Katie as well, who her character was defeated last time, but she's out there as well. You can catch her on the VODs, because her character Izo made a mark. There's a reason why we all love her so much. But yeah, I'm Kevin. I was your Dungeon Master this evening. I am the U.S. Ambassador for Notte Eterna here, running all the stuff on the main channel, as you can all see. You can find me online at the socials at KevRan Games. When I'm not here doing Notte Eterna stuff, I'm also one of the co-members of the channel, whatever. The board of Wanderer's Haven, which we do other cool, different one-shot type stuff, various multiple things, where we have some really cool stuff coming up, some of which was already mentioned. We do have a cool charity stream coming up on there on November 4th, so check that out. There's information on the socials. You can also find me tomorrow on Murder Hobo Inc. We're nearing the end of our post-apocalyptic campaign that we're playing in. I play a really cool halfling Matthew McConaughey ripoff, which is fun. And you can also find me here next week with these fine folks, where we're going to wrap up this arc. We're going to deal with the dragon and hopefully get everybody back to where they belong, and not lose too many more body parts in the process. If you want to check out Notte Eterna, please go to the link tree that is above Annika, or down in below, where all the links are in the About Notte Eterna section. If you liked what you listened to, consider following, subscribing, to tell other people that we're out there, because we do it for the folks, and we'd like to have more people showing up. Next week is the end of this arc, but the week after that, we are playing a special Halloween episode where some cool folks are going to go on a little bit of a monster hunt, and that's going to be super, super fun. If you like things like Brotherhood of the Wolf, it's going to be your kind of episode. So, Maybe that's a spoiler. I don't know. But anyway, again, thank you all so very much for hanging out. Thank you all so very much for watching. We are going to raid our good friends Fuzka, who are playing some D&D right now as we speak, because they are partying late like we do. So yeah, check them out. Stay around and watch them. And until next time, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. May the moon smile upon you. Good night.
Cubs win.